Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you so much for listening. Make some noise, clap it up, get excited wherever you are. We had to handle some business on my end. That's why I had to start a little bit later today, but we're still here, we're still back, and we are still giving you all the excitement of the day with the reaction to the press conference of Ennis versus Zayas. Tyson Fury getting ready to fight on this Saturday. We just progressed and kind of been a little bit more about that fight is also happening on Saturday afternoon, and so much more in the world of boxing and beyond. We got some retirements, as well, that we need to delve into. As if you didn't hear before, Jamel Charlo was officially done. My goodness, apparently he's gone. And some people clapping, some people are upset, some people saying it's fake. I don't know. We're going to talk about it though, and we're going to figure out how this actually all is unfolding. And I'm telling you this right now, there's going to be a show you don't want to miss. And we thank you for tuning in, and we're so happy that you're here. We appreciate you listening to the show. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come on and be a part of the hottest show on all the globe. Come join the empire by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform that you can listen to. Also, be sure to leave a like on the video, and please do the most important thing, which is to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can grow this show into the biggest thing possible, into the hottest show in all of the globe. We already are. We're going to live up to that moniker in numbers and in production and entertainment. And please, if you can support the channel, we have Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description, as well as super chats, good super gifts, stickers and the like, all down by the chat area. If you want to support the channel, it would mean the world to me. Helps us to pay the bills and helps us to further edify this show, make it bigger, better, and stronger, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. No question. Hey, about it. But with all that being said, we got a jam-packed show to come out. Also, again, the more you comment in the chats down below, you can get on the pound for pound list. We can get this ticker going. We can get you all responding. Y'all gonna show up on this little ticker in this black box. The more y'all respond in chat, and we're gonna have who can reign supreme as the pound for pound most active chatter on our show, both today and throughout the week. So hey, be sure to be a part of it. We can't wait to see you all, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to talk boxing. It's time to talk sports. It's time to entertain the masses. And it is time to step into the ring. Not one button. There we go. Yes, indeed. Come on. Let's ring the bell. Let's get it started. It's time to work. It's time to go. Starting out the show on today, we need to discuss what has been one of the most anticipated things about this whole week, in lieu of not only Tyson Fury come back, but also the first instance of Boots versus Zayas having their face off against each other, seeing the two behemoths at 154, the young upstart in the likes of Xander Zayas, who's become formerly the youngest champion in boxing, essentially is a unified champion, a two-belt holder in this 154-pound division, looking to be arguably the third best fighter in this division, if you want to talk about just straight-up talent. But he is the one that holds a good majority of the cards, going up against Boots Ennis, the man who has been already seen as going to be crowned as the king of this era in boxing going forward, or at least one of the kings in this era going forward, looking to get his first stint at his biggest test today. And I do mean that literally, his biggest test today, as he's going up against the likes of Xander Zayas in their unification bout coming up in a couple of months. I think it actually I believe in a month or two from now. And we got to see them face off. And I'm telling you, it was everything that we wanted and so much more. My goodness, my God, if you want to talk about bravado, if you want to talk about absolute confidence, if you want to talk about straight up fire, buddy, this fight's gonna look like it. This fight looks like it's gonna be something special. This fight looks like it's gonna be something spectacular. As we go into the world of picture real quick, I'm about to show you all exactly what this press conference was looking like. And I'm telling you, these two facing off head to head, they were jawing, they were talking, and all of this brashness and all of the questions of, do we think that this moment is gonna be too big for Xander Zayas? Can he handle what we can see Boots coming to the ring with? Is he able to fit the bill of being the real big star, that not only is rolling or is looking to rule this division, but also against the biggest face that he's ever seen in terms of Boots Ennis? Can he stand up with the likes of one of the best talented fighters in the world in terms of holding his own, at least from an optics perspective, as we're leading into this fight? And I'm telling you this right now, he sure enough look like he is ready to conquer the world, as you can see right here as we go into the world of picture in picture. Hey man, and when you can see this press conference and you got to see the face-off, they looking ready. Both of them looking insanely ready. Let me make sure y'all can hear it. Now, let me make sure stuff ain't going to be cutting out real quick. And here we go. Hey, look at this.
Drawn Boots Ennis, undefeated, 35-0. Two-belt title holder at 147 pounds. Xander Zayas, the young upstart, 23-0, already 23 years old, already a unified champion at 154. And see the size of both these guys. Xander, a true 154, nearly a career-long 154.
Yeah, I tell you, look, hey man, look, in fact, they cut off the best part of the whole face-off. This face-off was a full 5 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can skip to the end on this one. They may actually have provided some better audio, but when I say they were talking, I mean, like brother, look at this.
The fringes.
Look at this. They look
refusing
insane.
To break the stare.
These folks, look, this brother looks locked in. I'm dead too. And the crazy thing is, and again, I'm not trying to limit it too long because I see y'all in the chat, but we just want to make sure that we can at least get the show going a little bit. We are starting late because I had to handle some business. But I'm telling you, look, this man, with everything that we've been saying about he ain't ready for this type of spotlight, he may not be ready for this type of test. This man is walking tall and walking proud and staring this brother down in the face. And I think these last couple instances, I think this last minute showed you the real kind of when they start really touching up on each other, trying to get in each other's head. This shows you that he ain't taking no smoke until the Xander Zayas, even going in the face of somebody like a Boots Ennis. I'm gonna let you hear it. I'm gonna let you see exactly why I say that.
They're one of them. And Drawn Ennis widely considered right there on the fringes on the pound-for-pound list. Xander Zayas trying to prove that he belongs there. Two-belt title holder, just 23 years old. Rapid rise over the last 8 months. One of the best fighters of the last 8-9 months. 2 straight fights, 2 straight wins, 2 straight world titles for Xander.
And this is, I'm telling you, this fight is getting me excited now. This fight's getting me really amped up. I'm not gonna lie. I was still trying to find the part when they were really going at each other, and by that I mean when they were pushing and shoving, because at one point in time they were both pushing and shoving at each other, trying to essentially, because Boots had touched his belt. Zayas took an offense to that, and when Zayas took offense, he immediately essentially said, "Hey, we'll drop this stuff and we'll go through and straight up, we'll get stuff shaking." And my bad. I'll play that third clip later on. I finally found the clip of the audio of what they were actually saying in the midst of that whole interaction between the two. But as you can see, but they are not backing down, and this fight looks to be something serious. And it might be a whole lot more competitive than what we've been talking about here on this show. And it comes to in terms of Xander Zayas' ability to really deal, at least in the framework of the spotlight not being too bright, with one of the biggest stars in this talented sport of Jerron Boots Ennis. Let me see what you all got to say. This is a great test for Boots, man. I can't wait. Love King, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. Hey, man, look, this is a great test for Boots. I can't wait. You're right. It's a great test for both of them. This is a fight that has huge ramifications on the year, not just the day, but on the year of what we can potentially see as the timeline of boxing goes forward in both of their careers. Wise man, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you on the live with us on today. We're so glad that you're here joining us on this Thursday afternoon. Xander looks bigger in the face-to-face, and he ain't intimidated. Boots, he ain't. He's not. And you hit it right on the head. Zayas looks bigger. They're both listed at 5'10". I believe they're both listed at 74 inches of reach. But Zayas, I think he's taller. And I think he at 150, at least right now, before cutting all the way down to 154, he looks bigger. He was looking like he was pushing 200. If you saw the press conferences and interviews that we had seen leading into this fight. This is why I was saying I wasn't trying to just mince words when I was talking about Boots and Zayas might be bigger than Boots Ennis. I wasn't just trying to hype up the fight. This was genuine. This cat probably walks around 190, 180. Easily. He's got the ability. He could get up to 175 with ease. He already had, again, Boots was insinuating it in the press conference in this actual whole situation when he was saying this is the fat camp. Why'd you take the fight, at this date instead of earlier on? You in fat camp. You trying to cut down to size so that you can actually be ready to fight because you still overweight for this fight. Now, again, I don't get into all that stuff. I don't know whether or not that is or is not true. I just know Xander is a big kid. And he's still a kid in the world of boxing, and he's already this accomplished. There could be some real physical advantages that we see Zayas have that we didn't expect going into this fight. And it makes me very intrigued because this is the first time I can definitively say Boots is facing somebody that is bigger than him. This is the first time I can say that. He may not be, I don't think Zayas is stronger. I don't think he's better. I don't think he's more athletic. But with the skills that he does have, which they are great, he is a champion for a reason. And him being, again, looking like he is more of an imposing figure than we may have realized as we were all talking about this fight initially. All right, this is looking to be something really serious. Let me see. That face-off was intense. Those eyes was locked. Man, they were locked for a while, and they were really joining at each other. Like you said, this fight might end up being a lot different than we expect. I think so. And again, big clear, I am not saying that Boots is going to lose. I am saying, for people that say that Zayas isn't ready, I push back on that now. I think Zayas has been waiting on this moment to have this type of spotlight of a big-time fight with a big-time fighter put in front of him. There's a difference in just not being good enough versus not being ready. We've talked about the history of other fighters that have been great, that won champions early on. That was normally the biggest thing. What we're saying is, we talk about with Boots Ennis, he has been 35-0, 33-0, 30 plus KOs on his resume. He's been phenomenal. But yet the tests that we've been looking for, he hasn't gotten to yet. But with Zayas, he's getting this test from the jump early in his career. And people were lamenting, hey, why are you doing this? You're a fool to step in the ring. What the world? There's a difference in being potentially outclassed and being not ready. Zayas is ready, even if he may not be good enough. But the fact that he's ready to take on this moment can make a potential great outing. Because even though you know the standard of greatness that's in front of you, you're not shrinking from wanting to take on that test to show I'm that good. You're running to the test. That's why I'm saying I'm excited to see Zayas take this fight because he's running to the work. Even if it's work that may be over his head, he's still trying to get at it because he's walking like a champion. This is what we wanted from our greats. This is what we wanted from this era in boxing. That used to be a callback to the old era of boxing. And it's beautiful. I love it. And again, we talk about the confidence. Listen to what he was saying when Boots was trying to go at him. And watch his reaction when Boots starts touching his belts. I think this is the right clip when Boots starts touching. Is this it? Every clip I see is always when they cut it off right when Zayas is like goes at Boots Ennis. I don't know why every clip is like that. But either way, I'll just play straight up the audio of what they were saying to each other because, hey man, this speaks to potentially the game plan that we could see Zayas bring into what he feels Boots is physically and how we may be able to deal with the perceived physicality that Boots has been able to outclass all of his other opponents with. Zayas may feel he has an answer, and it might be the same answer that we saw the likes of Lamont Roach when he was talking about Tank Davis. Why do I say that? Well, let me let the likes of Xander tell you himself.
Touch him. That's as close as you're gonna get. They come home. That's as close you're gonna get to it. I guarantee that. I guarantee that.
Xander, extreme fake foot. Never made a career long 154. John Ennis in his second fight in the junior middleweight division.
I guarantee you don't make no mistake. I ain't gonna miss. I ain't gonna miss. Small, man. You're small. You small. You're a baby. I'm gonna show you.
Both guys very confident going into this fight.
Hey guys, let's
Go ahead, boys.
that way.
Dang it, shoot, it keeps cutting off. Okay, look, they keep cutting off the best moment when Zayas throws down the belts and essentially steps to boots. I don't know why every clip I've been seeing has cut off that moment, but that was a big moment. But you heard what Zayas was saying. You're too small. Same stuff that we heard about the likes of Tank Davis when he fought against Lamont Roach. Same stuff that we heard about other fighters who move up in divisions that ultimately they go and when they fight, it ain't. All of a sudden, it's not looking as hunky-dory as we thought it was going to be with what their physicality that they had shown in other weight classes was going to do up here. That's the issue. In some cases, it shocks us all, like with Devin Haney and Brian Elmer Jr. All of a sudden, his physicality got better in terms of Devin Haney. In some cases, it gets worse. Really does. But if Zayas feels he's too small, he may be looking to fight like the more demonstrative fighter. Yeah, he says he's perfect and all that stuff. I don't agree with that at all. Boots has talked about how you get hit and you don't move your head in the way that you need to in multiple fights, and he ain't gonna miss, like he just said in that interaction. I'm not gonna miss if I swing at you. I believe that too. What I also do believe is that Zayas, if he's moving in this type of confident way, he strongly feels if you are smaller than me, I am going to dominate you. I am going to physically impose you. Don't let these 13 knockouts fool you. 23 wins, 13 KOs. It's a good knockout resume, but it ain't making you the knockout savant that has everybody shocking off. I understand, but don't let that fool you. Zayas feels, look, brother, I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking down at you. I'm the one in this situation. I might not be towering over you, but I'm giving you a different vantage point of what it means to really be up here. This ain't Lima. This ain't a champion this ain't a former IBO champion that, with all due respect, wasn't seen as really amongst my level. What you're dealing with now is a man who I not only can I box, but I can make your life a living nightmare by giving you an amount of weight and physical presence that up until this point, nobody that you faced off against has been able to even come close to you in strength, let alone potentially surprise you and say, you my son. In that type of, big guy, little guy type of way. He may feel that way. And if he does, we could see Zayas go against everything we said was going to happen with how Zayas should fight on the outside. We could see somebody say, you know what? Yeah, I'll sit in the pocket with Boots. Maybe. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm saying how Zayas may be feeling. I'll sit in the pocket with him. He's got to show me he can crack like he think he can crack. Because up here, this is a different game in Zayas' mind. Up here, you're too small to deal with what I can bring to the table. And that power down there at 147, these 31 KOs, that was against people that you should have been able to beat. I'm a different beast. I got power that I can affect you. In his mind, I got durability that is going to surprise you in his mind. And I got skills and presence that can shock you in Zayas' mind if they were going by injecting this confidence and feeling that we see from him in this press conference. But I'm telling you, man, it's an exciting fight. It really is. But let me keep on reading what you all had to say. We got a lot of people in the chat down below. And I changed my mind. I think Xander has a chance 64. See, look at that. All of a sudden, everybody is shifting. All of a sudden, everybody's changing. All of a sudden, everybody is saying, oh, wait a minute now. Hold on a minute. We got some danger. Everybody saying we got danger. What? You see, this is why, and again, subtle detour into a life tip, per se. When we're looking at life in general, hey, confidence is a big part of how people can view you. If you walk like you know you're all that in a bag of chips, People that may have thought you were way out of your league, all of a sudden will say, wait a minute. With everything I said, this brother's still walking with his head up high. Zayas is starting to change some minds. He still got to show it in the ring. But on the outside looking in, he's starting to change some people's view. They started to say, wait a minute, we underestimated his hierarchy in this division. Strictly because of the shadow that Boots was casting over the division. Maybe. I'm not saying it's, I'm saying that's the truth. It's speculation. Because we're getting people, they're getting amped up now. They're getting shot, and I'm happy for it. Let me see. This is a win for Zayas, though. If he win or lose, and Boots needed this fight, they both got something to prove. They really do. And we can talk about this because it's valid. Zayas needs this because Zayas is amongst the elites at this point in time. Boots needs this because he's been in the elite category, but without the requisite name to validate his granted stance of greatness. Because they're both taking on each other when both of them are dangerous. This is going to really show once and for all where they're both at in their dimensions of elite status at 154. Because regardless of who wins or loses this fight, if they both perform well against each other, let's say it's a good fight and they both lose, well, all of a sudden we can both say, hey, you faced off against a good opponent in Zayas, and Zayas, you held your own against what is seen as one of the 5 most talented people in the boxing world. We should give you more credit. All of a sudden, we got to pay more attention now. And both of these men are threats to the biggest kahuna in this division, which is Sebastian Fundora, the towering inferno, the monster among monsters, the biggest essentially burning building that has singed just about everybody that stepped in this way, especially of recent. So this is a big deal. It really is. Hopefully this camp, they both work on their head movement. They better. They better. More specific, and we're going to touch on head movement. Also, let me read these couple chats. I'm going to come back to this because this is a real point. Let me see. I like the confidence, though. He wasn't letting Boots talk down to him. He was not. And this is what we wanted to see. You hold the belt. Act like you are the man to be because you are the man to be in this situation. Boza keeps saying we haven't seen Boots at his best. I really do hope Xander brings out the best of Boots in this fight. We hope. We really do hope. Because Boots is at I want to say it's a lose-lose, but it's more of a win or stay the same for Boots Ennis. It sounds a little bit confusing, but it's either an elevation for Boots or staying the same for Boots. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, but I got to read these chats real quick and I'll go back into answering that question. Let's see. But then I start thinking about how Xander is going to deal with the pressure. He might feel like he can deal with it. He might feel like he's big enough to deal with it. At least in the opinion. Let me see. Nah, bro, Boots all the way. Hey, look, hey, Boxing Nerd, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Thank you for tuning in to the show, Boxing Nerd. We're so happy that you're here. Hopefully you leave a like on the stream. Hopefully you keep on sharing the show. Hopefully you keep on subscribing. And hopefully you keep on interacting in the chat. And hey, support the channel. Cash App, PayPal. Super chat, super gifts, all that stuff. If you can. Shameless plug helps us out immensely. But no, I'm still going with Boots. I'm not changing that. But I just think if he's, the biggest thing about a fight is you got to believe you can win. Most people thought that Zayas was in over his head and that Zayas wouldn't believe he actually has a chance. Zayas is now walking like, hey, brother, I have more than a chance. I'm the guy you have to be. I'm the wall that you got to bust through now. He's thinking like that. That can make for a better fight. And that can bring out potentially a performance that we've been waiting to see for Zayas. Okay, wait a minute. He may shock some people, but I still got Boots winning, in my opinion. Speed difference and power difference. The speed difference is going to be the biggest issue. That's going to be the biggest thing. For Zayas, it's going to be that speed. Of the two problems, that speed of Boots, that I think will be the biggest differentiating factor in Zayas' ability to even compete. If he can't manage that, he's got nothing he can do. If he can, yeah, he's still got to deal with the power and the offensive awareness of Boots Ennis, but it is at least a lot more manageable But it's still going to be hard to do. I'm talking about how Boots was mentioning he has no head movement. Hopefully he takes notes. That's why I'm giving him a chance. I still see Boots winning. And okay, I see what you're saying, bro. Thank you for the clarification. Also, yo, Truth, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. Thank you so much for showing up on our live. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the show. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the stream and having a bunch of fun outright on this endeavor. Or on this afternoon of the what? I think something just fell off my desk. Wait a minute. Hold on. Shoot. I heard something clinking. I thought something was going wrong. But either way, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. Actually, hold on. Let me real quick. Let me open up this window a little bit more so I can get a little bit more light. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. Here we go. Let's earn up this light a little bit so we can make ourselves look a little more pristine, a little more lean, a little more out in the open. There we okay. I think this is good. I hope there was a change. If y'all don't notice a change, then that's hey, it is what it is at that point. What the wheel fell? Something fell. I don't know what fell. Something. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll still rock. We'll still work. I thought I saw something fall. We're fine. Either way, regardless of which, what was I saying? What was I talking about? What was I discussing? Oh, Boots. That's what it was. Make or break. In terms of staying the same or moving forward for Boots Ennis. That's what I was going to address next as we are talking. And the question is, with Boots as a fighter, either he will stay the same, and the conversation around Boots will stay the same, or he will continue to rise up depending on his performance. Because Boots Ennis at this point in time is at it's a cumbersome situation. Because yes, he is fighting in the way of we've been wanting to see him have a test like this. Yes, that is true. At the same breath, there still can be an audience where, even with this win against Zayas, people still say, he's not all that. He still hasn't fought somebody great. He still hasn't fought somebody of quality that's really on his level. And people are still going to hold it against him as, this brother is just still not a proven fighter. He's greatness, but only with the asterisk. The quality of boxing that he is just ho-hum. It's lackadaisical. It's nothing to write home about. It's not special. That's what can be said about Boots Ennis. Genuinely. I'm dead serious. I promise you. That's what can be said. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my waves brushed, but but that's what can be said. This is in a win, and if he loses, well, it's gonna be fraud. The only way he can really do this is by dominant KO. And I believe it was Bird that brought up a point about how I think he said it earlier on where is it? He said it. He had brought up the point earlier up here. Take him out 60-40. This win for Zayas, win or lose, Boots needs to fight. No, I'm sorry, it was Wiseman. He said it. And he brought up this. This is what made me think about this. There is nothing short of a spectacular performance that can push Boots through into, okay, everybody finally says this was a good win, we can buy in, and everything's all well and good. If he just wins, unanimous decision, people are going to probably say, I'm not impressed. Sadly, there's a big chip on the shoulder of Boots to win this fight. For Zayas, it's a great proving ground that can all of a sudden put a stamp that he never had before on his career is what we should look at him as. For Boots, just a win is not going to change the conversation of what he should be seen as in this division for a lot of people, strictly because they think that Zayas is just ho-hum. And so it's a fickle situation where Boots it's not a lose-lose unless he does lose, but it's kind of a stay the same or only elevate forward. But the only elevation can be with something spectacular. And just to win by itself for a lot of people may not be good enough for Boots to have the notion that, hey, Yeah, I'm a bad dude, at least in the public perception. But even still, let me keep on reading you all's chats, and because y'all got a lot to say on this, and I'm happy for it, and I love you all being here. Whoever wins, I hope they enjoy the belts while they got them, because once they run into Fundora, it's over. I hate to say it, but because I'm a big Boots fan, but Fundora's king at 154. I think. Here's what I'll say. Fundora has earned the right to be seen as one of the most destructive people in this division. He beat an old Keith Thurman, yes, but he dominated him and got the stoppage. That domination on a fighter that, to be frank, a lot of people were saying it was kind of shaky, but they were leaning towards, again, the young lion that should be able to go and handle the business with Thurman that ain't fought up in this division, especially against this big of a guy. He should be able to do what he needs to do. And he did it. And did it in a way that made everybody, oh my, ooh wee. My goodness, what a real performance. However, I do need to press the issue. I love Sebastian Fundora. He deserves the king title, but he is not invulnerable. It's going to take somebody special to beat him. But there's two people that are that special in this division right now. And depending on how Zayas performs, it can be three. Boots, Ortiz, and Zayas. There's three people that can potentially beat him. Two of them are getting ready to fight against each other. And if Boots does win this fight, I'm not going to sit here and say I am confident that Fundora can win. I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm going to say he can. I'm going to say he's a lot bigger of a threat than I've realized. Now looking at them with the way that he's fighting now in proportion to the rest of the division. But I'm not going to say that he's invulnerable. He can get beat. He can't. If anybody can beat him, it's Boots, Ortiz, or Zayas. And depending on how they both perform tonight, is going to spell a lot for the competitive nature of them going up against the other, or of both of them, going up against the likes of Fundora, which is good. Let me see. He's going for undisputed yet. Wait, Berg, yeah, he probably is going for undisputed after this. At least I would hope so, that he goes for undisputed. Mark H, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. If Boots hasn't learned from Karn's fights, Zayas will be a problem. He's a bigger, better version of Karn. He's a bigger version of Karn. He's not a slicker version of Karn. He's not as hard to hit as Karn. I know that for a fact. There is some validity. There is some truth to what Boots was saying. That Zayas does indeed not move his head as much as he needs to. Both of them should be better off, like Burr said earlier, training to move their head. I do believe that Boots has been able to get better defensively since his fight with Stanionis. That was a fight I needed to see, and he showed it to me. Zayas is a good fighter. He really is. But he's not Karn. Karn was slick and also was good on the inside. Zayas is more of a boxer puncher in my opinion, which is not, again, stylistically, everybody has their own style. I'm not speaking against it. I am strictly saying that it is an instance of his ability is not what Karn is. You can say he's a better fighter, but the stuff that made Boots struggle is not the same stuff that Zayas has as the main caliber of his offense or defense. That's where stuff can get shaky. If he can learn some head movement, if he does get better at being more elusive, especially inside of the pocket, we got ourselves a different conversation. We may see it in the fight. But if we don't, I don't know, but let me see. Yo, Buck Crawford, how you doing? Champ, what's good with you? How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Salute to you and everybody else in the chat on today. Best boxing channel, I hope. Best host in the box channel. I'm just trying to make it do what it do. Hopefully I'm making your day a little bit more pleasant, and hopefully you're leaving a like button and you're hitting the like button and you're subscribing if you do enjoy what we got going on. And hey, the more you interact, the more you can show up on this ticker. I'm telling you, we try to look more professional. We try to do the best that we can to make this more exciting for the public to witness and see. Let me see. I always hear his name Uh, I always hear this name Boots. I just want somebody to give me a real challenge. Well, buddy, look, but if you want a real challenge, come back. I guarantee you, you ain't gonna have nobody ducking you now if you choose to come back. If you don't, though, hey, enjoy retirement. All well wishes to you over in Omaha, Nebraska. You did your thing, but look, if you want smoke, it's still here for you. But Spencer's at 154. You can get your rematch there. Oh, you got Zayas. You already beat Makhmudov. You got Boots to fight everybody wants to see. You got names that you could fight if you so choose. Shoot, you got a whole new revamped division at 168 if you so choose. But it's up to you if you want to take that test or not. But look, whatever you decision you make, I'm not gonna front you, not at all. But let me see, let me see what y'all gotta say. Virgil is the best 154 pounder. He is the black sheep of the division. See, so as a talent, he's Fundor. With everything taken into account, he reigns right now. I think he should reign. As a talent, purely, I got it Boots, Ortiz, Fundor, Zayas. Those are my top four. I don't think Virgil is the best boxer, purely skill. But in terms of the skills that he does have, it is indeed top three. And that power that he has makes it so that those skills can box with anybody. He boxed with Makhmudov. Yeah, Makhmudov was sick. He still boxed with him. He still boxed with him. He still was able to wait him out, had an easier time dealing with him than even Terrence Crawford. And no matter what Terrence Crawford says, Makhmudov, optics-wise, looked like the hardest fight that he had. And we saw Virgil directly after handling him a whole lot easier. Break him down a whole lot easier. Make it even more clear-cut that, hey, he won that fight. Even though Crawford, by the end of the fight, yeah, he won it. He had a decision and deserved it. So, it's not a knock. That's exactly why I want to see them all fight against each other. Because Ortiz, Boots, Zayas, Fundor, all four of them can beat each other with what they bring to the table as a boxer. They can, with all their skills and tangible talents, as well as the intangibles, the IQ, the instincts that they can bring to the table, the ability to adapt and change, their defense, their substantive ability to make openings specific to their game plans. They are good at it. They are. They really are. They really are. But I think it's Boots as a talent. Boots 1, Virgil 2, Fundor 3. Outright pound for pound is Fundor 1. And then probably, even though he ain't got Zayas 2 because of the belts. And then at this point, even though Josh Kelly beat Bakram, I will put Boots, Ortiz above Josh Kelly, and then Josh Kelly is at 5th. I think that's a fair assessment. But either way, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. I always wondered what it means by black sheep. I think black sheep is normal. I think it was like a story. I forget what book it was, but essentially a black sheep is somebody who is shunned or avoided by people. Oftentimes it's used as the in a family, somebody doesn't want to associate with them. Or like, you have a bunch of white sheep in a field and there's a black sheep and in terms of color fur, and all the other sheep don't want to associate with that black sheep because they think it's different. You're not part of our family. And that's in that context. In this context, in boxing, or just in the other term, black sheep normally means you're the guy that everybody wants to stay away from. You are the signal danger that the public says we should not go in your vicinity. You're too much for us to handle. We don't want to associate ourselves because of what may happen. And in boxing, if you're a black sheep, normally you're ducked. If you're seen as a black sheep or a boogeyman, as is the more apropos term, you're avoided. You're ran away from. Promoters, fighters, and even some fans say, don't go after this guy. Terrence Crawford was a black sheep. Boots. Some people say he's a black sheep now, even though, again, he's getting the fights that he wants. Usyk was a black sheep for Tyson Fury. Benavidez was a black sheep for Canelo Alvarez. Most of the time right now, it's a black sheep for the whole of the division at heavyweight. It's a badge of danger, but it's also a badge of honor. Because if you are turning into a black sheep, that means you're a threat. You're a real threat. You're a problem. And if you're a problem, you're doing something right. And I love that. I do love that. Absolutely. So again, if you feel like you're getting avoided, that means that you're doing something real. And you're supposed to be a person that people is going after. You're doing something real. You really are. Let me see. Why do you say what do you say? What are his? I'm sorry. Hold on. Why do you say what are his flaws? His flaw. It's not that Virgil Ortiz has flaws. Because I'm not saying he's somebody who is vulnerable in all situations. There's one big issue with Virgil Ortiz that he just can't beat X, Y, Z. Virgil doesn't really have a whole bunch of flaws. He really doesn't. For real. We can say about how he hasn't been up to the championship, he hasn't gotten the championship that we thought he should get by now. We can say there's certain fights he should have already had that he hasn't had right now. We can say all of that. What we can't talk about is the skills as much because he doesn't really have many issues at all. Some of his power in the division. Is a great thinker, great offensive puncher. Is able to, he can guard up when necessary. He's got a chin. If he gets knocked down, he can get up. He's got a bunch of heart. He can fight his way back even when he's down on the cards. He's got one punch level power. He's a great body attack worker. He's a great headhunter when necessary. He's got great killer instincts. Nothing is horrible about Virgil Ortiz. Maybe the biggest thing is maybe there's some people that are fast, that got like Boots got faster hand speed than him in the division. But it ain't much. I just think that there's people I just think Boots as a fighter is a better fighter. And right now, because of the position Fundora has been put in and that he earned, he should be seen as the best right now. But it's not like Virgil is just blasé out of nowhere. This cat's nothing. The cat's really good. He really is. It's hard to pick out flaws with Virgil Ortiz. It really is. And that's why I want to see him fight in these types of fights. Because he's that good of a fighter. He can sweep all of them. He can. He can. Let's have an honest conversation. For real. Like for real. Let's have an honest conversation. This buddy, he can go through 154, and people gonna be shocked by Boots if he beats Boots. I don't understand that because of the hype and understood talent that Boots has. But outside of that, we were saying from the jump, this buddy was the best fighter in this division. Before Fundora again did what Fundora did against Thurman, we were saying that during that whole build-up, during Fundora holding the belt, with Bakram losing to Josh Kelly, and all the other stuff that was happening in this division, with Charlo coming in, Spence coming back, Tim Tszyu coming back, everybody that was there that is valuable and valid, as violent as this division has been, it's been up until Boots got here. Without a belt, everybody was still saying, yeah, Ortiz is the guy. He's the man. He's the standard. He is it. Everybody was saying that, and I was agreeing. I was like, unless if Fundora turns into something serious, that's the guy that I could see that could beat him. But outside of that, it wasn't really nobody else. I said he would beat Boachuk again. He'll beat Adams. Thurman, we know how that's going to go. Spence, we know how that's going to go at this point in time until he proves us otherwise. And all between 1 through 10, yeah, it was Ortiz. It was Ortiz's division. Without a belt, so there's not a whole bunch that's wrong with him. But now, if we're going to go by rankings, hey, you need hardware. That does mean something. And as a talent, there's only one person I feel skillfully is better than you. That's Boots. Fundora, with the height that he's got, with the newfound ability to box on the outside, makes him a monumental task, similar to Ryan Garcia. When Ryan Garcia was able to use his right hand against Barrios, he looks like a completely different fighter. Fundora with a jab looks like a whole new different monster, because he wasn't using it in the same way before. All of a sudden he is, and we love it. And though it's not a mastered jab, it's still a jab that can be even better. But just as it is right now, he turned him into, oh my gosh, he can do some real damage to Fundora. Or he can do some real damage to Ortiz, excuse me. He can do some real damage to Boots. Everybody better look out, because this cat is the real deal. And he is the real deal. He is. He should be seen as such. But even with all of that being the case, Virgil as a boxer is still better. And still, outside of Boots as a talent, I feel he's the best out here amongst everybody else from a strictly talent perspective. But with credit given to the championships, that's why I put Fundora ahead of him. And you could argue, you could put Zayas ahead of him, because Zayas got 2 belts. If you respect the belts, which I do. But from a talent, yeah, he's top 2, or maybe number 1, depending on how you see it going through. But I'm trying to make sure I keep on reading with everybody. Yo, Vaughn Greenhill, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Vaughn Greenhill, thank you for showing up and showing out. Let me see what you got to say on the day. Boot says he's the cash cow now at 154. Do you agree? That's actually a great clip I did want to play as we were talking through this whole situation of Boots versus Zayas. And yeah, I would say yeah. I would say that's the truth. From a and again, this is not meaning you're the best. This is not saying that you're the best fighter in the land in this division. The most lucrative financial fighter that can sell out in this division currently is Boots Ennis. I would agree. And again, I'll let him tell you exactly how he feels about him when it comes to being the cash cow of this division as we go into the other semblance of picture in picture. Oh yeah, we're doing the other camera angle for this clip, absolutely. And I'll let you see exactly what he had to say on the day. Let me make sure y'all can see it right. Okay, boom, y'all can't see it. I'll let you see what he had to say.
I feel like everybody gotta come through me regardless through this weak division. Like I said before, I'm the cash cow of this division. If anybody want to fight, they're gonna make the most money fighting me than anybody else. So I feel like I'm the cash cow of this division. I feel like everybody.
I would say that's true. And mind you, I had said this months ago when he was first getting into this division, because I was saying that's the biggest reason why he was going to get these championship opportunities that we were saying he should have had a long time ago. Strict due to the fact that that Boots was the name that he was before getting in here. With him being talked about on ESPN, a platform that rarely deals with boxing on a public stage now, but he's getting talked about on First Take by Stephen A. Smith. He's getting talked about as with other big stars outside of the boxing world, looking and saying, hey, I want to go to a Boots fight. He's got a following that is, I'm not going to call it tank-like, but it has that low murmur of the wider casual fan base and his fan base that loves him combined is a huge monetary value that the public wants to witness and be a part of. He should be seen as a cash cow. The whole reason why he can get these types of fights with Zayas and others just moving up is because, yeah, Fundora won't make as much money with any other fighter as he can with Boots. Ortiz will not make as much money with any other fighter as he can with Boots. Every other promoter recognizes Boots right now as both a risk and a reward that for my fighter, champion or not, is going to be the biggest payday they can get in this vicinity. The difference is Boots is moving up, and unlike Canelo, he's taking, in terms of Canelo, was the star, and then when he got the undisputed titles, he even became an even bigger star. Boots' rise to the stardom starts from the bottom up of I want to become undisputed, but on the way there, everybody who's a champion wants to fight me because as champ, they ain't getting as much money. And all the sanctioning bodies with every other person that can fight for their belt, I'm the biggest one that can get them the biggest payday. So trust me, they'll put me in number one mandatory opportunities. They'll gladly make me a person that, hey, you got to fight him because I bring the payday. I bring the money. So he should be seen as such. The problem with 154, well, not really a problem, but the issue with 154, while the division, it is the most dangerous division right now, the most lucrative abundance of talent that the boxing world has in one set, murderer's row. But there isn't a man that kind of really encapsulates the whole of the boxing mentality in terms of the forefront of the mind. You know, when you watch 154, you're going to get a dogfight every single time, and anybody can get beat at any point in time. But there's no one singular face that is recognized as the foundation of the place. And currently, the guy who's seen as the face that runs the place in front door, he's not nearly as big of a name as Boots Ennis. And he runs the division. Boots, he should be seen as the cash cow. And that's not disrespect, but it's like, it's worth it. It's worth it. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure, we got a lot of people, I'm trying to make sure I can catch as much people as I can. Like Legendary, yo, what's going on with you? Legendary Super Saiyan, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Keep on hitting the like button. Keep on subscribing to the channel. We're talking about more with Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas and the whole reactions to the fight as a whole. We got some more clips that we wanted to play with Boots talking about the spotlight of this fight for Xander Zayas. Let me see. That is true. Boots is the cash cow from 147 to 168. Well, no, not at 168. 168 is Canelo. It's still Canelo. It's going to be Canelo until the day he retires, most likely. I'm almost guaranteed. I can guarantee that. Until Canelo retires, it's probably going to be Canelo's at 168. He's going to be the man. But in between, sure. Yeah. Ryan Garcia's in that vicinity of cash cow. I think Ryan Garcia is more popular than Boots Ennis. Ryan Garcia is a bigger cash cow than Boots Ennis. This win can get Boots into that type of territory, even though he's already in that conversation in this second division. Yeah, he's the biggest draw. At 160, he would be the biggest draw. But if you're talking about from 147 on, Canelo and Ryan, they're bigger. Canelo and Ryan Garcia, they're bigger. You could argue Devin Haney is a bigger name. No, not even argue. He is a bigger name than Boots Ennis. He's a bigger name than Boots Ennis. He's not nearly as exciting, but he's more accomplished. He's been in multiple huge mega fights. And but it's been part of one of the most exciting and sold out events when it came to him versus Ryan Garcia. Oh, and he also fought Lomachenko. And we say, and again, people want to see more out of him. They do. They really do. The Butter still hasn't been with a headline, but as a notable name, he's a starter that he's a bigger star than Boots right now. But Boots can't catch up to him. He really can't. Really quickly, he can catch up to him really quickly. Let me see. Virgil wouldn't want $10 million to fight. Would he? I mean, if Devin Haney went up to 154, I think Virgil would fight him. If it was $10 million, it might be more actually. If it's a Devin Haney fight at this current point in time, against somebody that people say, okay, yeah, he can knock him out. Might be more. That fight might be bigger than we may expect, actually. Think he will. If he didn't take $10 million to fight Boots, he may feel he can beat. He may feel he can beat Devin Haney a lot more definitively than he does feel he can beat Boots, because again, 154 is where I said if Devin Haney gets up here, it's gonna be a problem for a lot of things. A lot of things gonna be a problem for Devin Haney if he gets up to 154. There's gonna be a lot of people chomping at the bit to fight Devin Haney if Devin Haney does ever move up to 154. There's a lot of people they're gonna be chopping at the bit because they're gonna see Devin Haney at this division. Oh yeah, we gonna be able to. That clinching stuff may not work the same way up here. Facing off against Fondor, brother, I'm very interested to see how Devin Haney deals with that type of height. Very interested to see. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Look, you better, I'm scared. We have an esteemed member back in the chat with us today. MS, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. We appreciate you on the live. Hey, brother, I'm scared of what you're getting ready to say. Let me brace myself. Hold on a minute. Let me get myself together. Let me read this, because Lord knows, last time you came here, we got Benavidez versus... Last time you were in here, we got Benavidez versus Otto. If you gonna break something else, let's find out. Salute, Big Welch. Salute to you as well. How you doing? Good to see you. Boots sizing up Zayas. I almost heard him say, oh, shucks, going through and I'm pulling out the fight. I hope he doesn't pull out the fight because he needs to. I want to see this work. I really do. Out loud, you heard it here first. He coming up with some kind of. Hey, look. You better be dead wrong, brother. Hey, man. Hey, look, we cannot. You've been right before. I don't need you right this time. I do not need you right this time. If we see Boots pull out with an injury, that ain't real. Because, oh my gosh, maybe I'm in over my head. Let me tell you something. If that did happen, Boots would never be able to live up to the expectation of what we thought his greatness could be. And everything about him will go down the gutter. Down the gutter when it comes to the overall matrix or the overall feeling he can be the next it guy. I mean, Philadelphia would be like, get this man out of here. He's a disrespectful to the very essence of Joe Frazier. How dare with a brother who is maybe an inch taller. He's still bigger than him, but an inch taller than you. All of a sudden you say, he talking a little too strong for me. If he did that, brother, oh my gosh. See, I'm scared because it's you. If it was anybody else in the chat saying this, I would be perfectly fine. But because it's you, and I don't know if you've heard something that I don't know, it's horrifying, man. It's a scary thought. But let me keep on going. Oh, Lord. I was saying he would take $5 to $6 million because he thinks he can beat Devin. Yeah. If it's Virgil, yeah, he would have definitely did. Gassiev would sleep or Torres. Now, Torres under. Now that's a conversation for later on in the show. Championship rounds when we talk about more close to the Tyson Fury conversation we're getting ready to delve into next. But that's a little bit closer. But Torres versus Gassiev. Torres, how he looks with Bomac is going to dictate to me whether or not I can see him against Gassiev and the others really live up to that championship pedigree of being the dog that goes and reigns supreme at this division. If that's true, we're going to find out. But if not, this is Torres' last chance to show me he's really got that medal to be this good to potentially great heavyweight that we've been hearing about him as. Because I haven't seen it in terms of all the fights I've watched him in. Let me see. But I hope and pray Boots versus Zayas comes through. It will be a great fight. It will. And it's going to be. It's going to be. When it comes to this fight as a whole, because again, we do need to move on. We do want to make sure that we give time for other topics of discussion. But when it comes to one last thing with this Boots and Zayas situation, and I think I was going to touch on this when it comes to the head movement and speed of Zayas versus Boots. Combination of Burrs and Boxing Nerds question that they said earlier in the show. This is a fight where the speed will be the most important thing. Because I don't care if Zayas learns how to move his head. If he cannot react in time, it's all going to be for naught. Because Boots was right about one thing. He do got a big head. Zayas is a big dude. He got a big head, similar to Devin Haney. And he can fight really well. But the one thing that I am concerned about with Zayas, if he does want to pull out this upset, is the capacity to have his reaction time down to where it needs to be, rather up to where it needs to be. If Zayas gets to a point where he is being completely blitzed, blindsided by the pressure, like somebody else brought up in the chat, by the pressure and by the nature of Boots's essentially disguised offense. Because the part of Boots being so hard to fight is the fact that everything comes out so fast and he can mix up shots with where he's gonna go, make you bite and feint on things. It can be a lost cause, even if he gets better. Because the issue, just knowing how to do the stuff and doing it is a completely different situation. We can argue, yeah, Boots needs to be sure that he's also got his head on a swivel as well. He needs to make sure that he ain't just taking Zayas' power lightly. And he needs to make sure that he keeps on with the same defensive production that he was doing against Ennis, that he did against Lima. He takes that to another level against Xander Zayas. No question about that. No question about that. But if Zayas specifically gets outmatched where nothing he does is able to even register in the mind of Boots, and everything that Boots does overwhelms the senses of Xander Zayas, not because, he's going to come out like a house on fire, but strictly because he can't process the punches coming. And because of that, he starts getting caught biting on feints, on baits, feigning with the straight right if he switches stances, because Boots is a southpaw, crazy enough. Feigning with the straight right, feigning with the hook, foot feints and head feints, level changes that causes Zayas to overreact because he is too pressed, not by just the outright pressure, but by the idea of speed. Again, we talk about fear. Fear comes in a multiplicity of ways. It can be outright power, like with Sonny Liston and George Foreman. It can be ferocity and power, intensity, like with Mike Tyson or Jack Dempsey. It can be just a straight up look, the physical physique of somebody. Like in the past, like I was going to use Anthony Joshua, but I don't think anybody was scared of Anthony Joshua. But who was that, brother? Who was that, brother? I think the dude that Jack Dempsey beat and knocked down, he was like, what, 6'7", 6'8"? I forget his name, but he was heavyweight champion that Jack Dempsey knocked out when it was like a giant of a man. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jack Johnson, that's what I was thinking of. Jack Johnson used to tower over people at that point in time when he was reigning as heavyweight champion. Coupled with the inside work and the clinch work, but the freakish size of him struck fear in the hearts of men at that in that era. Fear can also come from speed. Frank Martin versus Tank. Just the fact of, something's coming at me. Speed and power combined, but again, the similar still stands. You bit. You overreacted. You overcommitted. You showed up too much. And what happened? Ending up, the overreactions ultimately became his downfall. With him biting, Tank punching where he was going to duck down to. Like I said was going to happen. And when I talked about the fight, you can go watch it on the channel. I said it. He's going to overcommit. And when he ducks down or when he does that overreaction, Tank's going to be able to find exactly where you're going to duck to or lean towards, and you're going to land something, and then you're going to get knocked out. That's exactly what happened. But that's what I mean by overwhelming of the senses. You get too cautious and you get too defensive because you can't process everything coming at you like you normally can with other opponents, and you're overwhelmed. If Zayas runs into that situation where the speed of Boots overwhelms him and he starts to bite on every little thing that Boots does, this fight's over in 5 rounds. I'll say that right now. It's over in 5. It's over in 5. If we see Zayas run into that issue, I don't care if he feels that Boots is smaller than him. I don't care if he feels that Boots is somebody who he can potentially handle with the power. If he gets too cautious and he bites on every little thing that Boots does, he is going to get knocked out. And it's going to be in 5 rounds. We see this face-off right here, and we've seen all the jawing and stuff. If he bites too much, this is going to be the last time we see a upright Xander Zayas. The face-off and the weigh-in. because he's going to get knocked out. Because I don't care if you're smaller than him. If you cannot keep your composure when dealing not just with the spotlight, but with the essence of physicality, he's going to get put to sleep. He's going to get put to sleep. And if anything, I said that was going to be the last thing, but there is one more thing I did want to say about this whole situation with Boots and Zayas, and that was that conversation of pressure. And I said I do think that Boots is ready. I think that Zayas is ready for it. But at the same breath, well, hold on. At the same breath, part of this identity of Zayas is ready for it. How long is he going to be able to stay ready? Because if this does indeed start to wane, the presence, the grandeur of the fight, as well as the fight itself, I'm even more confident what I said about him getting knocked out can't come true. And why? Because Boots says it right here as to the potential pitfalls of being in the biggest fight of your life when it comes to Boots, Ennis, and Xander Zayas. And I'll let Boots tell you exactly that issue.
He was trying to talk about me. I don't know. These guys, this is what I be telling these media, y'all media guys be pushing this narrative that I be getting hit all crazy, this, that, and the third. But if you watch these guys, yo, when I tell you these boys be getting hit clean, I'm talking about clean. They live out the ring with hickeys, knots, cuts, bleeding. Bro, you watch any of my fights, bro, if anything, I might got like a little, I don't be having nothing, basically. Right? These guys be leaving out bleeding and all that. Like, come on, bro. It shows who really work on their defense and really don't, like, straight like this.
You feel like he's underestimating your experience? You feel like his lack of experience at the level that you're at?
I know for a fact, all this is going to get to him. He going to be burnt out from doing this pay-per-view stuff all day. Media's doing this, doing that. All fight week going to drain him. He having a fat camp right now. He like 190 right now. Like, bro, he asked for all this time to fight me. Like, bro, all this stuff going to be too much for him. He was trying to talk about me. I don't know.
And this is the final thing we can discuss with Boots Ennis. It is the grandeur of this moment with Zayas being ready. I am excited that Zayas is talking like he's talking. He is coming into this fight, and I believe he is ready. But it is the fact that as the time goes on, and we've seen this with other fighters, and it's insane, because now that I think about it, you saw it with Jamil Charlo. You saw it with Charlo. The moment of the stage takes a toll. The hard part about being a champion is the fact that at some point, this spotlight is going to get to a place where it's bigger than you ever imagined. And what you think you're ready for, you may still have some work to do. To keep yourself in all facets of the fight locked in. Andy Ruiz, he had the biggest win of his career and got the win against Anthony Joshua. Became the first Mexican heavyweight champion ever in boxing history. Featured, and then afterwards, his career never recovered. All because that spotlight post-fight. It doesn't always happen in the fight, but post-fight, it got too much. And he fell off a cliff of his own doing. Because at some point, the wall cracked. The discipline fainted. The spotlight got too bright. He got too hot. He started sweating. Should have been sweating all the time to keep his weight in check. But either way, the brother started sweating. And now it got to him. He broke. And for Zayas, with Boots, we're talking about the biggest star in this division. That is, in my opinion, true. With that stardom, he has been laden with consistency of the pressure and the frenzy. It's not just the fight, it's dealing with everything surrounding the fight. Keeping yourself where you need to be with the fatigue of doing everything that a champion or a star is supposed to do. It's a toll. And yes, this is the biggest instance of Boots' career, just like with Zayas. But the handling of it is a little bit different because the same intensity or a similar intensity of what the media frenzy, the public eye, and the intensity of the fight buildup, Boots has had a lot more experience with in a similar vein to a championship fight than Zayas for this specific fight. This is more This is more encapsulating of a world stage level affair than any other fight Zayas has been in. This is the biggest, this is the true instance of a spotlight on the world level that Zayas has gotten. He's won the title. But now comes the glitz and glamour. Now comes the show. Now comes the stuff that we've seen take out many men. Now comes the process of stardom. Because Zayas is no longer a prospect. He's reached that threshold where this type of intense frenzy is his birthright as a champion. But he's never experienced that real intensity with that birthright until now. Yes, he's won titles. Yes, he's been favored. Yes, he's had a following. This is different. Floyd, when he was fighting people, had the same. I'm not comparing Boots to Floyd. I'm not comparing Boots to Roy. But I'm using those two as examples. Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather, when they would fight somebody, even if it was them trying to take a belt from the actual champion, active at that point in time, the frenzy surrounding that fight that fighter was in, though they were talking a lot, there was a semblance. This is a different stage. It's a different time. This is a different pressure and a different defining moment in legacy. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to keep yourself where you need to be. You can easily lose yourself with everything that you think that you have. All because you lost yourself in the lights. Zayas has it together now. But this is going to be an issue, or at least a potential issue. That is something, it's not hyperbole. You've heard other great champions talk about this before. The glitz and glamour and the spectacle are sometimes the very things that make a fighter lose. Because the moment, as they're constantly in it, the mountain gets taller. And the more they think they're ready, the steeper the elevation becomes. Until while fight night, you see the crowd, it's a different atmosphere than what you've experienced even as champion. You see the paparazzi. It's even denser than what you were when you first won the belt. You see the talking about the fight. What's been said about you amps up. The interviews, the call-ins, the photo ops, the pictures, the autograph signings, the interruptions. The questions get more personal. The stress of also making sure you are able to not just promote this big of a spectacle, but keep yourself in the gym to be prepared to still win. It gets tougher. Dealing with that type of spotlight gets hotter and hotter. It's not the initial thing that gets you. It's that last 3 weeks that you start to see, okay, this is getting bad. When you are the only game in town, and we're already talking, you're having shows dedicated to that fight consistently, over and over. This very channel has had multiple episodes of just us talking about this fight, which there's a lot to talk about, but it's because it's the biggest thing since sliced, one of the biggest things that we got right now this year. And that's with Junto Nakatani. That's with Tyson Fury. That's with Moses having a great knockout performance. That's with Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. When Benavidez and Zerto, when all of that goes away, and it's just you and nobody else, that's when stuff gets brightest. And Boots may be right. It ain't getting to him now, but it might. And if he ain't careful, all that stuff that we think can happen with Zayas, it can fall on his head beyond just the better skilled Boots dealing with this type of pressure. It can get scary. It really can. But speaking of somebody that has dealt with this pressure before and has passed the test with flying colors, has been a man who has stood the test of time and is coming back into the ring as a boxing savant looking to make his way into the ranks of winning one more time. And that is the one, the only, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. That's right. He's back fighting against Makhmudov. He is here, and it's time for the Gypsy King to potentially take one more crack at the throat. Now, we talked about what this fight was going to be on Tuesday. We're not going to delve into too much on the breakdown of the fight, at least for me. If you want to delve into it some more, hey, keep on chatting, keep on responding. We want to hear from you. But we are going to talk more about the next steps, because there have been some interesting conversations involving Tyson Fury, specifically his tenure of what's next. We assume Makhmudov is going to be an easy win. We assume Makhmudov is going to be a winner. He may get he probably can get a knockout with. If I'm being completely honest, we're assuming, even if it's a Tyson Fury that has to revamp his game plan, ain't moving and bouncing the same way, ain't bumping up and down and having to be the same fluid Tyson Fury, he should still be able to handle Makhmudov with ease. Should. If we don't, I'm shocked, but we should probably see a win. Now comes the question of, where does Fury go now? Because the biggest names that have come up have been Tyson and AJ and Tyson and Usyk. Or excuse me, between that triangle of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua as the biggest fight that everybody wants to see. That's one part of the triangle. The other part of the triangle is Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Which fight is going to happen first? Fury and AJ, if Fury beats Makhmudov, or AJ versus Wilder after Wilder beating Chisora? Because we're at it's a little bit of it's a confusing situation. Let me try to paint the picture. Tyson Fury, if he wins this, has an opportunity for a huge fight. He wants Usyk, and Usyk wants him as the last fight. But he's got to keep on winning. The biggest fight right now in front of Tyson Fury after Makhmudov is an all-British war at Wembley Stadium. That's the biggest fight in British boxing history, arguably in all of European history, in terms of Tyson Fury and AJ for who runs the UK. Straight up. That's the biggest, most poignant, this is it fight. That can happen next, hypothetically. Or AJ versus Wilder, a fight between two of the biggest punchers in the last generation of heavyweight boxing in terms of when they were both at their prime. Finally, after upwards of 7 years and $100 million that Deontay Wilder turned down, finally they get to fight each other. Washed versus washed, but it's still the fight that needs to happen. I'm going to go by what Eddie Hearn says. Eddie Hearn said, we'll gladly take the tune-up fight with AJ and Wilder as the thing that we get next to prepare for Tyson Fury. However, Tyson Fury may not want to wait. Anthony Joshua may not want to wait. But I want to ask you, the public, what fight do you think is going to be the first to happen? And it should be a better question that we should have in terms of talking about this conversation. In fact, let me change the title real quick. Tyson Fury after Makhmudov. That's the better way to ask this. What's next after Makhmudov? What's the next step? And is it going to be straight up AJ and Wilder, or excuse me, straight up Fury and AJ, or AJ and Wilder? If I'm making this fight, and I've heard what Eddie Hearn says, and if you haven't heard what Eddie Hearn has said about this fight, I can go and quickly try to play it real quick, because this is what with Tyson Fury, this is what he had to say involving the likes of Anthony Joshua with that fight and what he would want to happen. This is what he had to say.
Be ready for that straight away after this. That's the fight I want next. I know he just had his fight with Jake Paul, whatever, an exhibition. Still have to go through a training camp, still have to get punched in the face. It's all pretty much the same.
An interesting collaboration, him and Usyk in the gym together, and Usyk working alongside him, which I'm not surprised at. That's the type of thing I'd expect from Usyk. But it looks like it's working for the pair of them.
Yeah, listen, Usyk will get knocked out quicker. For sure. I'll be ready for that.
And so, Tyson said he wants to stick. Now, Eddie Hearn, his words, if you can see with essentially here, and I can try to see if I can find a clip on Fight up here. But essentially, he said, "Hey, Wilder is next, and that's the fight that we are going to make happen as the next outing for this whole situation." Here's the full clip of him actually talking about this fight.
He's coming off the accident. He's rehabilitating his body, etc. We'll take Deontay Wilder as that warm-up fight, and then we'll fight Tyson Fury in December.
Well, crazy enough, I didn't even mean to pause it. It just paused by itself. Hey, this thing knows exactly what I'm trying to. Hey, look, see, this is the magic of chemistry. See, I'm so bad. I didn't have to press a button. It automatically stopped where I needed to stop it. You've heard both sides. You've heard what Tyson Fury wants. You've heard what Eddie Hearn wants. In my opinion, I think Eddie Hearn is doing this the wrong way. Because at this point, the biggest reason why that fight with Fury and AJ hasn't happened is because they were trying to build it up. Oh, it's going to be a big crescendo. And then Anthony Joshua lost. Fury went into that war with the trilogy. Anthony Joshua tried to build himself back up. Anthony Joshua lost again. And then it's no longer the biggest thing the public wants to see. Every time we try to give this fight something further down the line, it's always falling through. Do not make that fight wait any longer. I can wait for AJ and Wilder. If we want to see at least the best version of the fight with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, that still has the level of hype and relevancy that makes people still want to come out and see it, which people still want to see it. It's been, 10 years they've been beefing with each other. But my gosh, don't wait any longer, because we can see Anthony Joshua lose again. If you do take Deontay Wilder, the very instance as to why we're saying that fight with Wilder and AJ is even competitive is because Wilder looked like a semblance of the old bronze bomber against Derek Chisora. And he hurt Derek Chisora. He didn't knock him out. The power was looking like it ain't the same. That speed, more specifically, ain't the same. Oh yes, there's still some lingering issues that Wilder is because of time, he just never gonna get back. But that was the best he looked in the past 3 fights of his life. And I'm telling you this, if Wilder landed some of those same shots on AJ with his vulnerability of chin, probably is going down. And because of the uncertainty of what we know about AJ and his current regime with him training with Usyk, I don't want to waste time waiting, thinking, and hoping on that fight with Wilder to come out with AJ winning with a KO or just a straight up decision, making it through with a victory. That's all I'm begging for. Because that AJ and Wilder fight, that is a big fight, sure, no question. We've been wanting to see that for a while. But and I say this with all due respect to inside the ring on boxing, don't let Shady McCoy's ignorance on why this fight with Tyson Fury and AJ being a huge situation, don't let that sway you from the actual reality. That fight with AJ and Fury is the biggest fight that can be made and one of the most important fights in UK boxing history, straight up in boxing history as a whole, for this current regime of the heavyweight division, for that old era. That is if there's 2 non-negotiable fights with AJ and Fury and AJ and Wilder, AJ and Fury is the one that I don't care what doesn't happen the rest of this fighting tenure in the heavyweight division. We need to see that. We need to see AJ versus Fury. That's not a question. 2 people that subsequently ran the division back to back on each other's backs when they were both in boxing. Tyson Fury, WBC champ. AJ, unified champ. AJ beat Klitschko. Fury beat Klitschko. Fury beat Klitschko and retired and beat him on points. AJ beat Klitschko by knocking him out and beat him in a fight of the year. Both of them reigned at different points in the division's era. And both of them were the standard bearers, not just for the division, but for arguably the boxing world as a whole. Especially Anthony Joshua. At one point in time, he was one of the 3 cash cows in the whole boxing globe when he was at his peak. We can't not have that fight. And I don't want to risk Anthony Joshua losing to Deontay Wilder. I still think AJ would knock him out. I don't care if I believe that AJ would knock him out. And I do. I don't want to risk that the power of Wilder, while diminished, is just enough to get him out of there. I don't want to risk that at all. Make AJ and Fury directly after Makhmudov. Do not make that fight with Deontay Wilder. Not first. Don't make that first. I don't care if you don't have a tune-up. You better make that fight now, because if he comes back and he loses, that fight will never happen. That fight will never happen. If he comes back into Anthony Joshua and he loses to Wilder, that fight will never happen. You'll be better off putting AJ against Herndon for the risk factor. You'll be better off putting him against Herndon than putting him against Deontay Wilder, for the very sake of we want to make that big fight, and this is the tune-up to make sure we get the bigger fight. I wouldn't even risk it. I wouldn't. I don't want to live in a world where we don't get AJ versus Fury. I don't. But it can happen. It can happen. Eddie Hearn, you've been doing good on a whole lot of things. You wrong on this. Don't you make Wilder versus AJ first if you want to secure the reality of one of the biggest fights in UK history. You better make Tyson Fury first. I am too scared. Even with Wilder being as bad as he is, I'm too scared that something can still go wrong. Because it's gone wrong too many times before. We've seen AJ retool already once, and when he should have won, he lost. He was in the position, he could have gotten a fight with AJ yet again if he had just beaten Daniel Dubois, and he got knocked out and dog walked against a fighter that we thought, okay, AJ, this iteration should be better than him. Capped off by another performance with another non-boxer that he put out in, 2 rounds? That Fury should have lost against Francis Ngannou. Everybody was all up in arms. Next thing you know, got put to sleep by Daniel Dubois. Knocked down 3 times. Absolutely destroyed. And now that fight was on the back burner yet again. I don't need that again. I don't need that. I don't need that again. If you're going to make this fight, make that fight. If you ain't, don't. Don't you make Wilder versus AJ first. Because if you do, sure, I'll be excited. I want to see it. I will be all elated. What I'm not going to be is confident. What I'm not going to be is confident. I ain't going to be confident at all. And we can see the likes of AJ get over that hump when he needs to. Strictly because I'm scared of his chin still. Scared of his chin still. Plain and simple. But either way, we still got more to talk about in the world of boxing. We can actually transition over into the world of the championship rounds real quick. And now we've covered all the main big stuff on our docket of conversation. And we can keep on flourishing and shining and make this show even better by letting your voice be heard and be seen around the boxing globe. So that with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to the championship rounds, shall we? Yes, indeed. Come on. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round 1 of this show. Going under. It's time to work. It's time to shine. It's time to let your voice be heard. It's time to have your thoughts and opinions for the globe to witness and see right here on the show. Whatever you want to talk about and chat about, 30 minutes to an hour, we got your voice in mind to discuss anything involving the world of boxing and beyond. We can still talk about Naoya anyway with that fight that's coming up. But between him and Junto Nakatani, we can talk about more with this Tyson Fury fight and Makhmudov with the fight itself as to what we want to see. We can talk about more with Boots and Xander Zayas. We can discuss Regis Progress versus Conor Benn, which we are going to discuss in the show as well. We can discuss a plethora of opportune talking points that we can have. It's all for you to witness and see and to enjoy and conversate about on our show on today. No question about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your thoughts and opinions ready and get your debates, questions, comments in all forms and manner of absolute interaction. We want to hear your thoughts on it. Let's jump into it right now, shall we? Come on. It's time to work. And it's time to get it started. And with all that being said, the first topic of this championship round segment would be the likes of Conor Ben versus Regis Prograis as the other fight on the undercard of this whole situation of Tyson Fury versus Makhmudov. Yes, indeed. That fight's going down, and we are excited to see Conor Ben potentially move down to 140 and potentially get his continue his momentum, as he's working through the ranks of trying to still recapture gold around his waist. Now, y'all were telling me that you felt that I was being too disingenuous about the ability of Conor Ben against Regis Prograis, and Regis Prograis was way better than I may have thought. Well, I still believe that he is injured based on what I saw in the sparring footage. And I still do believe that Conor Ben is a better fighter than Regis Prograis. And I'm telling you right now, the very fact that we saw Conor Ben come back for a $15 million one-fight deal with Zuffa to fight Regis Prograis was not because it was a big fight. It was because it was an easy first coming out party, and for Zuffa to make a fighter that they signed look good to make everybody see, oh my gosh, yeah, he beat a 2-division champion, or he beat a 2-time champion. He beat somebody who was formerly a powerhouse who's only been beaten by the likes of a Devin Haney, or beaten by the likes of somebody of the caliber of Devin Haney. Ain't this just the bee's knees? I'm telling you, I'm standing 10 toes down. This is the fight that's going to be completely, should be one-sided. But there is a catch, though. Oh, there's a catch. There's a catch. There's a catch. And that catch is, did Conor Ben cut too much weight? From 160 to 140 coming down. Did Conor Ben cut too much weight? More specifically, did he cut too much muscle? Even though this is where he should be at in his career. And could he not be the same? Excuse me, I'm sorry, not 140, 150. 150, my apologies. My apologies, 150 pounds is the actual weight, not 140. I think it's like a catch weight or something like that. Either way, my fault. You're right, it is 150. Same question to the pliers, though. Because when I'm looking at him as a fighter right now, he looks, and I can even say a little, he looks a lot weight drained. He looks a little worse for wear. He looks not in the best way when it comes to him standing toe-to-toe against the likes of Regis Prograis. Something doesn't look right about Conor Ben. In all of the semblances of confrontations, something looks concerning with this whole affair. And if you don't believe me, I'll even let you see it for yourself as to what he has been looking like in their face-off that just happened, I think, a couple hours ago, as they had their weigh-in, or not weigh-in, but as they had their face-to-face against each other.
Well done, guys. Straight ahead.
And I'm telling you, again, as they're posting, they're staring at each other. There is they do not like each other genuinely, if you heard them talking. But I don't know. Conor Ben, maybe it's the hair that's making me feel this way, but Conor Ben, he just doesn't look great coming back down here, or at least not in the way that I would want to. Prograis looks from a physical perspective. Prograis looks a lot healthy. Prograis looks fuller, per se, more flushed out rather than as squeezed as I'm looking at Conor Ben right now. This isn't me trying to, if I'm wrong, please enlighten me. But something about this, Conor Ben just looks incredibly skinny, but in a bad way. And it's backfiring on my thoughts as to what I thought we would see from Conor Ben looking in this division like what he should look like in a more closer contending physical way, not ballooning up to 160 that was too big for him and his body, even though he won. He might have cut some muscle. Genuinely, he might have cut some muscle. And if he did, if he didn't just cut weight, but cut muscle, boy, We've seen this story before. We've seen it before. We've seen it before. Roy Jones would tell you. I was never the same after that. I was never the same, and I'm concerned that we can see that with Conor Ben. I'm really concerned we can see that with Conor Ben. Because it's just me. It's just not looking good. It's just not looking confident. And so I'm a little bit wary about this fight, just in my humble opinion. But again, if you think I'm wrong, please do tell, and I will indeed respond in kind. But even say, hey, what's going on? Ryan Grace, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We are so happy that you're here. Good guys, come on, change the thing. Come on, there we go. Okay, thank you. Yes, we're happy that you're here. We're happy you're on the live. Hopefully, leave a like on the stream. Do you like the new setup? Do you like the new camera angles? Do you like all the stuff that we're adding to this show? Like I said, the more you support, the more we can go and invest and turn this into an even more professional feeling endeavor. We got a ticker of the people that respond and that interact in the chat. We got a new face of point of view for us to play clips on the live as well as with me right on the front, on the side, still in frame. And so I think it's working pretty well. But like I said, the more you chat, the more you respond, the more you subscribe, and the more you like, and the more you can support the channel if you can monetarily, whether through Super Chats or through Cash App and PayPal. We can do more stuff like this, no question about it. We appreciate all of you tuning in and supporting our show. Even still, we are in the championship rounds for the last 30 minutes of the hour to an hour of this show. Whatever you want to discuss, we can discuss it right here, right now, with you all in mind. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. We are still having a whole bunch of discussion involving the rest of the world of boxing as a bunch of stuff is going down. Like, if you also didn't hear, we touched on a retirement that was brewing. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a retirement indeed, because Jamal Charlo, if you didn't know, has officially retired from boxing, at least as of yesterday. Oh my indeed. If you didn't hear the news, Charlo's gone. The brother's done, or at least so it would seem. Charlo is gone. Now, subsequently after this, 5 minutes later, yes, I know, Ryan Graves, it's shocking, isn't it? We were just looking at this brother training, were we not? We were just seeing this brother in the gym, were we not? We were just seeing him coming back and calling out everybody under the sun in terms of at 160. At 168, he was going to fight Resendez. Then that fight went to Jaime Munguia, but he was still in the gym working and looked like he was going to fight Caleb Plant then, but that fight fell through also. But he was trying to make a comeback. And then now, after his one fight on the same card as Caleb Plant in 2012, was it 2024? I think. He has announced his retirement. It's a shame to see. I mean, credit to a great career, but my gosh, man, it's shocking. The bigger brother of the Charlos, in terms of Jamal, is done. Or is he? Because if you didn't know, after this, 5 minutes later, this man went through and called out Canelo Alvarez with Canelo's training that he was going about doing when he was coming off of his shoulder injury, and said, hey, let's get it. So I have no clue what he's doing. See, this is the problem with the Charlo brothers. This is the problem. This is the issue. This is what I hate. This is what I despise. This is what I can't stand when it comes to the Charlos. They just flip-flop way too much. And I want to support them. But I can't. If they keep on teasing the public and then just backing it off and then going back and say, oh, no, I'm back, I'm here. It makes no sense. And it's so frustrating. Because it's like, y'all should still be in the thick of all this stuff, and yet you're still playing games. I hate it. Let me see. I revised my ratings for fighters yesterday. Some guys slipped down some ratings. Some guys slipped down some ratings. You gonna think I'm crazy? Well, look, we're gonna have. Well, you can still do it here. But if you really want to start a conversation with the bang, you can come back tomorrow and bring your list in. We're going to be talking about pound for pound tomorrow as well, with everything else that we have to discuss in the world of boxing. So if you want to save your list till tomorrow, cool. If you want to bring it up right now, cool as well. We can discuss it. I would advise you bring your list tomorrow, because we're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow afternoon on Friday. Mark my words. You're going to want to be there for that, absolutely. But again, but as we delve back into the world of Charlo, real quick, we do have we're trying to get through the rest of the topics that have been coming about in the boxing landscape. Charlo retired, and then a couple of hours to a day later called out Canelo. I don't know what they're doing, and this is why I can't trust them. This is why I can't believe in them. I don't know what their MO is. I don't know what their game is. I don't know where their headspace is at. I don't know what they're thinking. Everything about them is just confusing. Collectively, everything about both Charlos is just confusing. Again, if you hadn't seen, here is the outright clip, or rather, here is the complete view of what he had called out with Canelo. This is what he posted. Right after announcing his retirement, he posted, hey, Canelo, let's get it, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. And this is his Instagram profile. Like, what are we doing? Why? You trying to drum up interest? You're trying to make people buy in? It ain't working. Be clear. You wonder what the reaction was to Charlo retiring? That was the reaction. Jean-Luc, what did you do? I didn't hear anything. Exactly. You heard nothing. Because nobody cared. Nobody cared. This is a shame. The Charlos have become irrelevant. That's the problem. The Charlo brothers, both of them, have become irrelevant. They become irrelevant. I never thought I'd see the day, but the Charlos have become irrelevant. There was not a peep of public outcry about the Charlos, not about Jamal Charlo saying I'm done with the sport. Not a word, because the public doesn't care. Because you all have strung us along to the point that, and you waited around. Again, you had mental issues. I understand. You got those fixed. After that, you still played games. And now, a whimper is what you went out on. And you didn't even stay out for more than a day. And you calling people out, and you're getting people say, we don't care. I told you. What did I say when Canelo lost, when Canelo beat Charlo? With the way that Charlo lost. This is going to affect both of the reputations of the brothers. And the longer that they set out, the worse that public perception will becoming, the worse that public perception would become, up until ultimately we don't care about you. Both of you. We got a glimmer of hope when Jamal Charlo came back, and then he went away for another 2 years. And we said, well, why should we bother? We shouldn't trust you. We don't believe in you. We don't think you're competitive anymore. We don't know what you got left in the tank. If you come back and with what we saw with Keith Thurman, who stayed out with the same amount of time as you, we know you're going to get destroyed. We don't care. If you want to make us care, you come back and you win. You come back and you perform. You come back and you produce. You come back and you call out and you make good on your promises. You come back and you make a deal instead of you trying to outprice yourself with a fight with Cindy's when you should have taken the money because you needed to get a win under your belt. And that was a fight with Resendez and Charlo that should have happened after Resendez beat Caleb Plant. When it was supposed to be a fight that set up Charlo and Caleb Plant. You could have been calling out and fighting Caleb Plant right now, even with Caleb Plant losing. Why? Because y'all had a grudge. And it would have been a fight that, hey, he came off a loss. And we ain't seen Caleb Plant in a long time at 168, have we? And this was going to be your debut at 168. Because your last fight was at 160. Everything still lined up, and you didn't do a doggone thing. You and your brother have ruined your reputation by sitting, playing games, working on the sidelines, post us giving you the requisite leniency that you were due. You have taken advantage of the public's patience, and now you're playing games, and the public said we don't care. And even this retirement sparked no movement of the needle because you have become, in the relevant framework of boxing, irrelevant, a non-factor, a non-issue, a name of a bygone time. And you should still be in the thick of everything right now. Nobody calls you out because nobody values you as a boxer at this point in their career and in your career. Because, and this is crazy to say, in the public perception, you don't add anything to anybody else's legacy right now. You don't. It's not a risk reward. There's no reward involved at this point in time when it comes to the Charlos. From the public view, you can change that if you did something, but you ain't doing nothing. And so you're just old man yelling at the sky. That is what Charlo is at this point in the perception of the public eye. And I don't want it to be that. But doggone, that's what it is right now. And I hate it. I really do, but that's the truth. I really do hate it, but my gosh, man, it's the truth. It is. Oh, Lord. It's so frustrating. But y'all are chatting. Let me see what you all got to say. Oh, my gosh. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Let me see. All I'm going to say is the way I rate fighters based on how boxers do against orthodox fighters and how they do against southpaw fighters separately. So they have two ratings each. Okay, I can see how that goes. I want to see Canelo versus Iglesias so bad. I know for a fact he won't do it. He might have to. In terms of Canelo, he might have to. Be clear, he might have to. He might have to do. He might have to do Canelo versus Iglesias. He's not champion anymore. He's not champion anymore. He's going to have to fight Christian and Billy. And then after that, the road to all the other titles goes through everybody else. You got to restart the journey again. Win them one by one. Or wait until one person gets them all and then you fight them. But the way this division is going, you're going to have to pick up the pace, speed it up. You're going to have to move a little. You're going to have to face people like Shiraz that you didn't want to face. You're going to have to face people like Iglesias. You may have thought, I don't need to mess with that. You're going to have to face some people that Martinez. You're going to face him if he becomes a champion. Carlos Adames. You're going to face him. And you may not want that right now without I was able to deal with the bigger fighter in Shira. It can get dangerous. It really can. But let me see. Matter of fact, Iglesias fights tonight. He does. Yep, you're right. He does fight tonight. You're right. Thank you for that reminder. He does fight tonight. Let me see. Yo, Stevie. Young Stevie. Brother, what's going on with it? Yo, how you doing? Appreciate you tuning in, T. What's up with you, man? We're glad you tuned in. We're so glad you're back on the channel. You like the setup? You like how we got this stuff going on? We got tickers. We got third screens that we can have me still here. We got... I'm telling you, we're doing our thing up here, man. I appreciate it. I'll do this all for y'all, but we're glad that you're here. Absolutely. And you say whoop-de-doo. Yeah, man, whoop-de-doo. When it comes to Charlotte, whoop-de-doo. That's what the public perception was. Whoop-de-doo. You came and went. You and your brother at this point in time can leave. That's the sad reality of it. And if it wasn't the case, trust me, we would be saying something completely different. But my gosh, it's the truth. And it's a shame. It is a real shame. And I despise it. But let me keep on reading what you all got going on. But Cindy's did so good after getting stopped. He did. He did. Like he earned my respect. As a fighter, he earned my respect, in my opinion. Canelo definitely beats him, Billy, only if he hasn't lost another step. And that's the other issue. That elbow surgery, I'm interested to see what that does for him. I'm interested to see what that elbow surgery does for Canelo. Because it could be. Hey, he looks better, back to prime form. He could even use a revamp his style to do things that his body can do now that he wasn't able to do in the past because he has changed and gotten older. And if he can do that, stuff gets pretty interesting now. That becomes a very intriguing sentiment. Let me see. Iglesias is getting interim, I think it's a full title. I think it's a full title, right? Let me see. Yeah. Ryan Gray, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's the full IBF. It's the full. It ain't interim. There's no more interims at all. Every title fight from this point on, I believe, is a championship fight. Martinez is the only interim titleist that I believe has an interim title with the WBC. Every other belt, however, that is going to be fought for, that's the real one. So, again, the Infinity Stones are getting shuffled around. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie, potentially. And we're going to see how it rocks. And we're going to see how you can work. Let me see. Then Canelo is going to have to go through him. He is. He's going to have to go through him. Whether he wants to or not, he's going to have to go through him. And it's going to be, it could be dangerous. That's why we want to see it. The great reset of the super middleweight division. The great snap, per se. Everyone to stick with Marvel. That's what this has turned into. The great snap. Because everybody now sees that Canelo is having to do the work over again. Even if he's a favorite. Because everybody else has the titles. Undisputed goes through everybody in this division with the likes of Shiraz, Adames, Martinez, Iglesias, Canelo, all have turned into dangerous fixtures. And in Billy. Don't forget in Billy. This is good. It's good in a division like this. But it's dangerous. Or there's favorites. Sure, Canelo's still the favorite. But it's a lot more volatile. Because everybody's got to go through everybody. And there's a lot of uncertainty for the better. Which is good. Which I love. Which I really do love. Let me see. Yo, Johnny Blaze, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. We appreciate you on the live. We're glad that you're here. We thank you so much for tuning in. So only Puerto Ricans got Xander winning. There's some more people. Mind you, it's not just Puerto Ricans. He garnered a level of change. And, Zayas might be able to win. When people realized he's bigger than people thought. And he's walking with the confidence that we didn't think facing against Boots he would have. He's walking like he already knows Boots is going to get destroyed. He's walking with the purpose and a mentality that is we would expect Boots to walk into, and Zayas is feeling uncomfortable. All of a sudden, Zayas is talking right back. Dare I say talking on the level. It's straight up, it ain't no give and take, but I'm here and you're here. Ain't no you above me, I'm above you, but I'm the man to beat. You better recognize and respect. Walking with that level of confidence has people saying maybe we underestimated exactly what Zayas sees as to why he just took this fight outright. Ain't just Puerto Rican fans that are doing it. He getting respect from a lot of people. He really is. He really is. And so, but let me see. Lester is. Oh, wait, I just had it. Hold on. I just saw the chat. Lester's a different story right now within Billy versus Canelo. I mean, he is, but even still, it's going to be like he's directly in the mix still. He's directly in the mix still, regardless. Let me see. Xander is going to get whooped, and it's going to be sad. I don't understand. We have to paint this picture in the right perspective. It's not going to be sad if he gets beat. Sure, we expect Xander to lose. But Xander's gained. He feels more gain than anybody gives him credit for. But losing to Boots Ennis is not going to be going out sad. When Shukajan lost to Boots, he didn't go out sad. He got respect. He got respect. Boots, if he does win, because he can lose. If he does win, it's a great testament to his ability. But it should be held as, hey, Zayas did push himself. And especially if Zayas puts on a good performance. This man deserves our respect. And we should stop calling this man unproven. We should. Because I don't care if he does lose. This buddy going to be champion again. If he loses, he's going to be champion again. I can confidently say that now, more than ever. He's going to be champion again. In this division and the next. I buy into it. He's not a perfect fighter by any means. But he's thinking in the way that we've seen champions of the past think. And he is not backing down from no smoke. And he's walking like somebody that carries a pride that won't relent. No matter what he's done in the past that makes you think he can't do something. He's gonna have a bright career. He's going to have a long career. He's going to have an accolade-riddled career. I promise you. And this fight for Boots, or with Boots, if he does lose, it's going to be that further edifying of the story and a further expulsion of the issues that Xander Zayas has to fully make him into the best boxer he can be. Because if he does get exposed, he's got the work ethic to fix those holes. We want him in this test. Because without this, we may not get the best version of Boots down the line. We need it. And if he does win, he's going to shock the world. He's going to shock the world. But again, do not say that Zayas is a weak fighter. Do not say Zayas was not a good opponent. To this day, I still say Zayas is the hardest opponent Boots has ever faced. Zayas is the biggest opponent Boots has ever faced. Zayas quickly has become the most accomplished opponent that Boots has faced today. So this being a bad win or not a win that we can buy into, I don't think that's the right sentiment. I think we just say that if we do see Boots beat Zayas, give it the respect it deserves. Because Zayas is not a joke. He ain't a joke. And he showed up coming in like a house on fire. So I'm excited to see this fight. Ryan Graves, that's why I like Xander so much. But to be getting beat from someone like Boots will just be tough. It will. If it happens, it will. If it happens, it will. But this is the risk that you take. Because I don't lament somebody losing against somebody great. I don't. There are times when a loss has derailed a career. Yes. And somebody has never been the same. Sure. Majority of that time, if it isn't injury, it's because of a shot to the blow of confidence in their own style of fighter that they try to shift and change too much or they can never get back. And then they're never the same. But I don't think Zayas is going to have that problem if he does lose. I'm not saying he's going to, if he does. And we need this from our young champions. We want Abdullah Mason taking on people that we think, hey man, you might be a little bit over your head. Why? Because you are champion. It'd be different if he didn't have a belt, but he's got a belt. So like, hey man, this comes with the territory. This is what comes with the territory. And I'm glad he's accepting that reality. I really am. Let me see. His name only has value because of the belts. Point blank, Xander is an all right fighter. Xander is a good fighter. But those belts, yes, give him the respect. And they should give him the respect. Because he's done something that Ortiz didn't. Here's the thing. We can't. Josh Kelly gets respect because he's the champion. And he should. We, at least in my opinion, the public point of view, when it comes to the status of a champion, the belts have to mean something. And they do mean something. I believe they do. The very reason why he's got notoriety, he was a good prospect coming out. He won titles early, broke records of the youngest champion in boxing, and then kept on trying to accomplish big-time stuff against people that had belts, when normally we would see them sit on the title that they have without doing anything. And to a degree, yeah, there have been chances where their belt doesn't back up their ability. Charles Martin, perfect example. However, that doesn't change the fact that for this instance, Zayas is a good fighter that deserves to be seen as a good champion that has also walked the walk and taken 2 of the 4 belts in this whole division. More than Fundor, more than Ortiz, more than Boots, and anybody else. There's got to be, and we've been saying he can fight. So I think the respect should be given because this is a good name. Yes, he's not Ortiz, but he's got more under his belt, accolades wise, than Ortiz. Ortiz has faced off against more names, and Zayas has gotten titles. But he's gotten titles quick. He's moved quick. He's tried to be young and hungry. I don't think we should disrespect it or look at that as, you know, it's only because of the belts that he's got a name. Well, that's the case, and Roberto Ortiz should have no respect at all. If it's only the belts that give him respect, then Ortiz should have no respect. Because the only thing he's got is an interim title. The only thing he's ever had has been an interim title and nothing else. We've been begging him to do the very thing that we see Zayas do. We can't say then that Zayas does the thing we wanted Ortiz to do, and then now we're saying, he's only known because he's got 2 championships. Well, no kidding. Because he got 2 championships. And the dude who reigned as the best talent didn't do a doggone thing. People saying he's ducking smoke left, right, and center. So, again, for me, I'm going to give him the respect. Win, lose, or draw. And this is going to be a win that elevates Boots if he does win. And for Zayas, it's everything I could ask for. It's everything I could ask for when it comes to him working as a champion and fighting as such. Let me see. Do you think there's any truth to Boots saying Zayas having a fat camp? I don't. I can't say yes or no. But what I can say, we did talk about Zayas looked big in many interviews in light of him after beating a boss and even signing with Boots. When talking about this fight, even before it was done, he looked big. Brother looked chunky. Boy looked like he had been eating good and really taking advantage of the winning ways of being a back-to-back champion. It did look like it. I would not be surprised if he probably, this weight cap is also about losing weight as well as getting prepared. Now, he's made 154 every other time with no issue. Hasn't been weight drained. I don't think it's going to be a problem this time. But he's a big dude. I've said this ever since I watched him fight. He's a big brother. I didn't say that as long as I watched him fight. I said that recently, looking at his last fight, in retrospect of what we were seeing now. Hey man, this cat, he's a big brother. So I can't either confirm or deny that this is a fat camp as well as a straight up training camp. But what I can say, don't be surprised if a lot of this weight, a lot of this training that we see Zayas doing is conditioning. Don't be surprised. But he still should be ready well and good by the time fight night actually comes through. But there may be some truth. Maybe some truth, a little bit. But I do also think that this is what Zayas wanted to do from the jump with the date and time and all that stuff. But again, that's speculation. That's speculation. We're going to find out if it's fat camp. And we see this brother struggling to make weight by the time we get 2 weeks out to the fight. 3 weeks out to the fight. We're going to find out, trust me. Let me see. Raymond Murtala versus Abdullah Mason gets made. I'm already knowing the betting guys are going to have Abdullah as a favorite. Oh, yeah, they will. They will. Yeah, they will. They'll have him as a favorite. They should. Rightfully so. Murataya is on the level of Abdullah Mason. Absolutely. Murataya, arguably, well, they both had a phenomenal fight against their respective opponents. Murataya beat a better fighter, though, in Cruz, to get the belt. So, that may be painting a little bit of a different picture. But most likely because of the name of Abdullah, he'll be the favorite early on. Now, by the time fight night comes, it's probably going to be 50-50. Probably going to be 50-50. Probably going to be 50-50, absolutely. Abdullah ain't ready for that chess match. He's not ready yet, but he's quick to get there. Let him fight Schofield. He'll be ready for Murataya. Let him fight Schofield. Let him fight Schofield. And he'll be ready for Muay. That's been my barometer. He beats Schofield and makes it look good. He'll be ready for Muay. That's gonna be a good fight. But he'll be ready after that. I hope we get Schofield versus him next, if we can. But knowing Schofield probably gonna get hurt, injured, sick, or something else going on. But he gets past Schofield, I will be confirmed. Yeah, he's ready for Muay. He still got to perform and produce when he gets there. But that's my bar. It's a good bar. Because Schofield's a good fighter. But if you can handle that type of power, you can handle Muay. The boxing ability, yeah, I think he's got it. And I think as we've seen, he gets better and better. But that's my barometer. If he's not ready yet, but he gets past Schofield, I'll say he's ready then for that fight. Let me see. I'm going to watch some Xander film later on. Yeah, but I think a lot of people are in lieu of this fight. Bud Xander took the 50-50 offer. Buddy Xander took the 50-50 offer with Boots, but didn't take it with Virgil. Yeah, probably because it was more money. Probably because that 50-50 with Boots was a lot more money than that 50-50 with Virgil Ortiz. Granted, I don't know the ins and outs of said negotiations. I'm assuming, though, this 50-50 with Boots is a whole lot more generous in its lucrative nature of what you can make, win or lose, compared to what we saw with Virgil Ortiz if that fight got made. So if we're talking about business and monetary. Now again, there's more people that got more information on the business side of those negotiations than me. So please, take what I say with a grain of salt if necessary. Simply giving you everything that I know at this point in time. And I have no business being wrong. I have no problem being wrong. Just so you know. But even still, he's going to lose to Schofield out there. No, he's not. No, he ain't losing that. He's not losing Schofield. He's not losing Schofield. He's not, unless he gets clipped early. He's not losing to Schofield, I'll guarantee you. Hey, look at this. He's not losing that. We got some problems. He's not losing. Now it's gonna be a fight with Schofield. He's not losing to him though. I don't think he's gonna lose to him. That's a good fight, but he's a better fighter than Floyd Schofield. Schofield has the power and athleticism that he can land the shots that Sam Noakes lands, and it could put Abdullah in some serious trouble. However, with the chin that Abdullah showed against Sam Noakes, who was one of the 3 hardest punchers in the division, he can take Schofield's power. That's what makes it the difference. The biggest thing about Schofield's not a better boxer than Abdullah Mason. Schofield is as near powerful of a puncher, or close to it, as Noakes, and Abdullah took Noakes' power well. Schofield's a better fighter than Sam Noakes, sure, but he's not a better fighter than Abdullah Mason. He's not a better boxer than Abdullah Mason. I can guarantee you that. I can promise you that. The biggest thing about the fight, why that fight was so exciting, was because they're both young, they're both in position for titles, and both of them have the tools to do damage to each other. But the better fighter is Abdullah Mason. And the better fighter has been and has always been Abdullah Mason. Schofield has been close to the skill level, but he's not better than Abdullah as a boxer. It is the athleticism that makes that fight more interesting, because that's what helps elevate Schofield into the danger zone for Abdullah. But Abdullah's he's a better boxer. He's got more tools. He's got a better arsenal. He is. And so if they fought, Abdullah should beat him. And I think he will beat him. But that's the fight that is the bar to put Abdullah really in that road to the show of, okay, the greatness of his career now really starts to begin. That's the win. Sam Noakes was the crowning moment to start the journey. This fight with Schofield would be the kickstart to really put it in gear. You got the car, of greatness, and now you're driving it. Now you're on the highway. If you can beat Schofield, and I think he will. Let me see. Abdullah got to defend against Joe Cordina. He does. I would want to see that fight. Now again, I'm biased because I've been waiting on Schofield and Abdullah for years. Because they have been right around each other for years. And I've been wanting to see that fight for a hot minute. That's why I'm biased. I want to see that first. Before Joe. If it could happen. Now, I think Joe versus Abdullah I believe Joe and Abdullah already got confirmed as the fight that's going to happen next. Let me just check and make sure. Joe Cordina. I believe that is the next fight that he's got with Abdullah Mason. Yes, that's true. Joe, he got to get through Joe. We didn't even bring that up because we know that's the thing. He's got a championship that he's got to defend now. I'm biased because I really want to see that Schofield fight. I really do. As a propensity to really put him under. At this current level, that's the most high profile and talent combined fighter that can push that Abdullah train further into the stratosphere of an early start to greatness. Cordina's a good fighter, 19-1, 9 KOs, but he can fight now. But I think without that power, I don't know if Cordina really has a great shot at being able to beat Abdullah Mason. Schofield, that's where stuff changes. That's why I'm high on it. So yeah, he got to get past Joe. But I think it's a given he's going to beat Joe. Once he beats Joe, this is the fight I want to see next. If he doesn't go after another title and try to unify, Schofield versus Abdullah, that's the fight I want to see as the next outing for their career. The fight with Sam Noak showed me a lot about Mason. Honestly, it did good and bad. It showed a bunch of stuff. But it showed there is a foundation to build off of. Because if it was Abdullah Mason that wasn't really prepared for it or wasn't built like that, he would have lost to Noakes. He would have gotten knocked out by Noakes. If Abdullah wasn't what I think he can be, he would have gotten knocked out by Sam Noakes. He would have. With the amount of punishment he was taking. And the amount of dog-eat-dog world that fight became. He would have gotten knocked out. But how he fought through toe-to-toe in Noakes' domain of infighting. And what he did to change and still say, I'm not going to back up. That showed me something too. That showed some grit and some heart. And a mind that still thinks with destruction as the main forefront. How do I still stay what I want to do or stay doing what I want to do while never giving up ground? Because I got to. And he did it. And so I was impressed. There's still a lot of stuff to work on. But I was happy with what I saw in that fight for the whole of the thing. Let me see. Coach Eddie, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. We are in the championship round, just so you know. Just so you know. And we're about to end it off. It's 30 minutes to an hour. We're about to come up on the hour mark. And when we get to 2 hours and 30 minutes, we're going to wrap the show up and send it home afterwards. Be clear, we are not going overtime. Unless y'all want to give some dough. Hey, if you want to give some support to the channel, Cash Out, PayPal, links down below. We get some people sending some money. Hey, we might be able to stay for a little bit longer now. Oh boy, we'll make some concessions for that, no question about it. And you can even have your name on this ticker down below in the pound for pound rankings of the most activity on this show for today, if you so choose to still be a part of this whole thing. But regardless to which, shameless plug aside, we're just happy that you're here for the ride. And please keep on liking the show, keep on sharing the stream, and please keep on supporting if you can. And we're still in championship rounds. We want to hear what you all got to say on the day. But yeah, you say Xander's going to sleep. Yeah, it can happen. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he gets knocked out by the likes of Boots Ennis. Only because Abdullah is so huge for lightweight. Yeah, he is big. He is big, but still, he's been knocked down before at lightweight. So that's why I was like, yeah, that fight showed me something good. Cordina could be a good win for Mason. He is. Now, Cordina is a good fighter. But for the public, people ain't going to say that Cordina's a great win. If I'm thinking about the wider net of the boxing world, they won't value Joe Cordina as a fighter that's a good win for Abdullah Mason. They're going to say he should be Joe Cordina. They're going to say that should be a given. Don't be surprised if that fight isn't even close when it comes to the odds of what people say that fight's going to be for betting. If you bet, it's going to be lopsided. Because people ain't going to value Cordina as a viable, dangerous opponent. And they're going to think he should be young. He should be getting walked through. Is it fair? No. That's what the public's going to say, though. But for Schofield, watch. If they announce that fight for Schofield next, I guarantee you that fight's going to open up a whole lot closer. Whole lot closer. In part because of notoriety. And so because of that, I'm thinking from a skills perspective of what we know Schofield is, and for the known regime of the boxing world, hey, that's a fight that will get people talking and buzzing. So after this is going to be a good win. As a talent, yeah, this is going to be a good win for Joe Cordina. But for the bigger landscape, yeah, I need that Schofield fight. I need it. I really do. Imagine if Abdullah fought someone like Tank like that. Well, one, if he could fight like that against Tank, like Abdullah Mason fought against Tank, that would be impressive. That would be dangerous for Tank if he can do that. If we're saying that Abdullah Mason's a big dude for this division and he fights Tank in the same way that Lamont Roach said that Tank was too small, Abdullah feels that same way, and that power doesn't affect him in the way that just like it affected Lamont, all of a sudden that's a dangerous cocktail. That's a dangerous cocktail of chaos that can ensue for that fight. I don't think Abdullah's ready for Tank. I don't. If that fight ever happened, I'd be shocked if Abdullah fought Tank. I would be shocked if Tank fought Abdullah, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I would be shocked if Tank fought Abdullah in the first place, even with Abdullah not being ready for him. Because that is a big dude. With speed, that's comparable. With an IQ that we've seen people comparing him to the likes of Terrence Crawford. With the way that he's able to fight and think and operate in all manners of range, close, inside, and out, and close, mid-range, and outside, and moving. He's got some tools, man. If Tank does indeed keep on fighting for a couple years and fluctuates between 140 and 135, I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight at 140 when Abdullah matures and grows up, because he's currently the youngest champion in boxing. When Abdullah matures and gets to 140, I would love to see that fight, Tank versus Lamont. Or excuse me, Tank versus Abdullah Mason. That would be that. You want to talk about an interesting dilemma of what that fight could be like. Because we talk about Keyshawn Davis being the biggest threat to Tank Davis, which is true, or one of the biggest threats to Tank Davis. And that's right. Keyshawn is one of the biggest threats to Tank Davis. Doesn't change anything that with what we see with Abdullah Mason. Because Abdullah shows a lot of the same skills that we see with Keyshawn Davis. Potentially, though it's in a raw state, at a higher level. It's not refined like Keyshawn. But what we see, it's something special. When that matures, and if they fight against Tank, you better watch out. That's a war. That's a war. Because Abdullah already showed he got a chin now. That's a war. That is a war. If they ever fight against each other with the maturity that Abdullah Mason is able to grow into with time, you better watch out for that fight. Tank, no, that's a dangerous fight for Tank and Abdullah. That's a good fight. if that ever took place. My gosh. Let me see. You know what, Tank? You know what, Welch? Don't downplay the GOAT Xander always being spoofed. Trust me, I won't downplay him. But let me see. One fight that is being discussed for the vacant 135 title is Welch versus Zepeda. That's a banger. That's another banger that we do that is exciting to see. I guarantee you, Lamont's going to try to recreate what Shakur did because he is going to not respect the power of William Zepeda at all. At all. He's going to try to say, I don't care about your volume. If I can take Tank's power and I dealt with Isak Cruz, I can sure enough take you and your volume. He going to sit in the pocket. We're going to see. It's not going to be a 1-to-1. But we're going to see Lamont Roach probably try to reenact what Shakur did against the William Zepeda. But not as much on the ropes Philly shell. He's not gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be head up, right in front of you, guard high. We in the center of the ring. It's probably gonna be that type of fight. It's a lot of action, but it's gonna be a lot of face to face. I promise you, because he does not. I guarantee you, Lamont Roach does not see Zepeda as I respect your power. You have volume, but Lord knows, I can pinpoint you, and I can take whatever you give. And he'll try to match it. Most likely, he will try to match it. He'll try to still box and move around, but most likely he'll be in front of him, saying, "All right, let's make this look easy, and let's go to work." He's gonna try to do that. And so, how Zepeda punches him, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think Lamont Roach should win that fight, but time will tell. Time will tell, nonetheless, when that fight takes place. But one more thing about the show before we're going to wrap it up and get out of here. We did need to talk about the world of I think it's 140. Is it 140? No, the world of 140 and 168. Because we got a new player on the docket of Zuffa Boxing, and two new fighters that have been signed to the likes of Zuffa, if you were unaware, and that is one, Edgar Berlanga, and another one in the likes of Richardson Hitchens that are now under the banner of the Zuffa regime and will both be fighting on Zuffa Boxing. It is now confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, my word, it's shocking. And again, we're gonna end on this before we wrap the show up and get out of here, because we got about 4 minutes left. This fight, or rather this assortment of talent, is very interesting. Edgar Berlanga, from what I've been able to see over social media, nobody really wanted to sign him. He was a free agent. He got it from under Oscar De La Hoya, absolutely. And then contracts up, was a free agent after Shiraz. Nobody was really gonna pick him up, at least per online speculation. Is that true? I'm not sure. I just know his stock has fallen since the knockout with Shiraz. Zuffa got him, and rightfully so. Zuffa should get him. This is a Zuffa level fighter, in a good way, not the bad way. To build a roster, this ain't a bad person. Richardson Hitchens also, this ain't bad either. They're getting some names. Jaya Pataya, Richardson Hitchens, Edgar Berlanga, Connor Ben, who signed with them. I'm not mad at this. And like Ryan Gray said, they might be doing their thing. They doing something. This is not terrible in terms of signings. But I am concerned because what we just saw with Jaya Pataya is about to happen, most likely to Richardson Hitchens. He about to get stripped.
Hey, look at this! We got some problems here.
He about to get stripped.
We got some problems here.
He's about to get stripped. Because I believe Richardson Hitchens is the IBF champion. The same belt that we just saw Jaya Pataya fight for and lose or get stripped of because he's associated with Zuffa. Jaya Pataya is a more relevant, rather more successful name in his own division than Richardson Hitchens. That's the truth. Hitchens talked about why he's not as big of a star. He said it was because of the fact that he doesn't have a father figure, and people like Devin Haney and others, they got father figures. That's not why you're not a big star. It's because the way you fight sucks. From the entertainment perspective. And you beat Kambosos. Yeah, sure. You've called out everybody else under the sun, but you ain't actually trying to make the fights. That's a problem. That's why you're not as big as other people. That's why. That is why. But what's also why is because now you're about to get stripped of the very belt that gives you power in this division. Because people don't want to work with Zuffa. Rather, belt commissions, the thing that gives you the weight of power, want to strip away. I don't know if this was smart by Hitchens to sign with Zuffa because of what just happened with Jaya Patel. Edgar Berlanga, I can understand. Edgar Berlanga, I get. Edgar Berlanga needed, I would say Edgar Berlanga needed Zuffa just like Zuffa needed Edgar Berlanga on their roster. But Hitchens, I don't know if this was a good pick. And if he wants to bolster his name more, again, Conor Ben's fighting Regis Prograis. That type of name for Conor Ben isn't going to necessarily elevate Conor Ben's cachet in the boxing world, especially in the debut at 150. Richardson Hitchens already is getting a lot of flack, or rather lack of respect, because of the lack of notoriety that he has under his belt, the lack of entertainment value that he brings to the table for a lot of people when you hear them talking about him. Who is he going to fight? Who is he going to fight? Because it ain't going to be for a title initially. And if it's for his belt, it can get stripped. And other people, man, I want to work with Zuffa to put fights on with Richardson Hitchens. I would have said maybe you could have gotten Kambosos, but you already beat Kambosos. So now, after that, I don't know where, it's a little, I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless I'm missing something. And if I am, please tell. For Zuffa, this is great. This signing, Berlanga and Hitchens. But for individually, Edgar Berlanga and Hitchens, these are two separate instances of good and bad. For Berlanga, I think this is really good for him. But for Hitchens, I don't know. I don't think this is bad. Or rather, I don't think this is a good move for Hitchens. I don't think this was a good move for Hitchens at all. My gosh, I'm concerned. What? Look, mark my words. The second he fights for a title, if he gets stripped, I told you. Any champion that signs with Zuffa should not sign with Zuffa. Any belt holder at this point in time, any belt holder who signs with Zuffa should not sign with Zuffa. You should say, I'll wait. I'll wait till I move up. I'll sign with you then. But while I got a belt, I'm not doing it. Because if I do, at this point in time, I'm liable to lose my very leverage that made me tantalizing for you to want to get me in the first place, to sign me to a deal. And for Hitchens especially, without that title, Hitchens doesn't have nearly the level of pull that he thinks he has. Hitchens is talked about a lot, or rather gets talked in conversations because he keeps on bringing everybody up. But he ain't like that. The public, at least, I won't say for the public, me, I don't buy him like that. I don't think he's all that in a bag of chips. I respect him. I've said that he's good. He showed me something when he fought against Kambosos, but outside of that, it wasn't something that was groundbreaking, that has sustained my investment that this man is a problem. He's a good fighter, but he's a good fighter that his noise doesn't translate to believability. He can box, but he's not. It's not in the way that has me saying Hey, man, when you say forget Tank, when you say forget Shakur, when you say all this other stuff, it's like I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And if I did, it'd be perfectly fine. Because I'll be clear. You want to hear how Hitchens feels about other fighters? I'll show you right now. Keyshawn Davis, I think Tank and others. This is how he feels. If it'll play, would it play? Hello? There we go.
With Keyshawn is like we can't name who has this guy beat. Like
Yeah.
we can't this guy he beat Jermaine Ortiz, but Jermaine Ortiz got a name from fighting Lomachenko, not beating Lomachenko. He just fought Lomachenko. Jermaine Ortiz ain't shit.
Right.
So it's like fuck Keyshawn.
Keyshawn. Excuse the language. My apologies. But talking mad in terms of, hey, that's some big shade. At the same breath, your biggest win is Kambosos. That is not a very good ground to stand on. To have you talk and move in a way that you think you up here. You're really right here. Really. And without the belt, you dipping lower and lower. With the belt, all right, you took that belt away, I guarantee you people would drop. It would drop. And this is, again, with all due respect, from what I've seen with Keyshawn, Hitchens, and most of the big elite fighters that Hitchens says I should belong in with, they don't view you as a threat. Most of them don't. All of them don't, actually. But the same thing that you say about them, they're saying that about you, but tenfold. And see, like Ryan, see, he'll beat the mess out of he'll beat the mess out of it. He would beat the mess out of Hitchens. He would. He absolutely would. No doubt in my mind he would. Because they, in terms of boxing, they respect your ability. But the elites don't think you're a threat. They don't think you're a problem. You haven't shown anything that gives anybody any trouble. If anything, some people view you as a poor man's Devin Haney. And they already don't like Devin Haney. And you, as a boxer right now, you don't have that same oomph. And like, look, he's even talking about who he wants to fight next in terms of the reign of boxing, which is Shakur and Tank Davis. And I'll even let him tell you how that feels. But like, you call out these names, like he's getting ready to call out now. Tell me if you think that these people think he's a threat. For real. Tell me if you think they think he's a threat.
The exception of Shakur and Tank, you know, like, but I think I need to get one of them guys to kind of like X them out and put my face there. So yeah. I think they will fight.
You think they'll fight?
Because I think a lot of people haven't seen enough of me. So I feel like they don't even understand. They don't believe it yet. I would fight Shakur, but I ain't gonna run in there to fight Shakur if I could fight somebody else, because like me and Shakur got a really, really close relationship. So it's like I said, I'm not saying to the world like, no, you'll never see me and Shakur fight. If Turk and these guys come with a great opportunity, it's no turning down. I ain't saying give me 100 M's to fight Shakur, but I know for sure like ain't too much different. If I could go fight Ryan, they ain't gonna pay me much more to fight Shakur. If I fight Ryan, they both fight. Yeah. It's the exception of Shakur and Tank, you know. Like.
Now, tell me that didn't sound like duck to some degree. Tell me that did. If I'm wrong to think that that type of talk signifies somebody that belongs in the elite of conversation that he was just saying, X them out, Shakur, Tank, Ryan Garcia, and put me there because people haven't seen me. Tell me I'm wrong if I said what he just said there doesn't sound like a duck. Tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, enlighten me. Because this buddy just said in a brash way, hey, I'm at 140. Shakur's at 140, but I'm not looking to fight him right now. But if Turkey comes my way and gives me 50 M's, they're going to take 50 M's for me to fight Shakur. But yeah, I'll fight him. If it's me fighting Ryan Garcia, yeah, it ain't gonna pay me up, but so much more to fight Shakur Stevens. Notice he's saying exorbitant money, even though it would be a lower ask than what others would be asking for. Exorbitant amount of money would be the only thing that takes me into that fight. That's what this sounds like. Because he just said, I'm not looking to fight him. Though you say you should be on his level. We can't, and we've had some instances where you've been, like, there's been some fights that you should have had a long time ago. That honestly, you have not been fighting in that vein against these names to get you in that spotlight that you say you deserve. The biggest name has been Kambosos. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. That's a major problem. To have your viability of a star power be Kambosos as the main antithesis of your status as a elite fighter. That's not good. Keyshawn will beat the brakes off of you. Ryan will beat the brakes off of you. Devin Haney will beat the brakes off of you. Tank would destroy you. Everybody that you named, and even those that you ain't named, would destroy you. Lamont Roach would give you problems and probably beat you. Isak Cruz probably could knock you out. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't care if you can box like that. We've been seeing you against power before, and you've been rocked multiple times. Take it against somebody who's a better infighter. Yeah, they'll knock you out. Murataya would destroy you. Shoot, you put Hitchens against Abdullah Mason. I dare tell you what. If you want to say that Hitchens has more experience, sure, fine. If you tell for me who you think beating between Keyshawn and Abdullah Mason is beating this man right now, in my opinion. And that's Abdullah still raw and unrefined as a fighter. Nothing about him screams the elite caliber he's trying to say. In that vein, he's a good fighter. He's a champion. He deserves to be such. But there are still levels of this that you ain't in yet. And when you had an option to get to that level, you ran. What else are we supposed to say? So no, you shouldn't get those fights. Yet you're talking like you're an elite specimen in the world of boxing as a caliber of talent. You're good. You ain't up there. And in this instance, it's the belt that's keeping you relevant in this vein. Because without the belt, there's plenty of people that ain't got a belt. That's still, we talking about a whole lot more. The only reason why we bring you up is because we're talking about Richards and Hitchens. The only reason why we bring you up, Richards and Hitchens, is because we're talking about Keyshawn Davis. And you jawed at him in the interview. Or you brought him up. Your name only comes up when you're relevant with somebody else that has a bigger name. By yourself, there's not a whole bunch of value. This isn't me trying to throw shots. This is the understanding of this is the problem with Richards and Hitchens. He keeps thinking that just attaching himself to others is going to be the thing that makes him great. But he has had multiple options to take a road to be great, but he hasn't done it. He can make himself even more notarized without having to just go put me in with these guys that are way better than me. But he hasn't done it. Shoot, he can fight Floyd Schofield. Beat Abdullah Mason to the punch. Yeah, it's at 135. So what? Come back down. You can do it. Or bring Schofield up at this point. Because some reason at 135, but he keeps on having problems. Bring him up if you got to. Call him out for a fight. You want a title? Come take my title. A plethora of names at 140 right now he can fight. And yet still, what the world? What the world? What the world? It's frustrating, man. It really is. It really is. Because I know he can be better. But it's just, it sucks, man. It's despicable. It's despicable. And it just irks my mind. He talks in such a way that his own resume does not back it up. That's one of the few instances where the only reason why his name in a wider sense, he's a good fighter, but in the elite caliber, it's only relevant because he's attaching it to the bigger names, and on its own, it only has a name to stand on in a big way because of the belt. And if that belt gets stripped, just like with Jai Apatai, there's nothing else in a buying power, in a staying power, in a marketable power, in a business power, and in a fandom level experience of wanting to see you that has you bought in with any of these other guys because you haven't done anything for yourself with the belt while you were champion to make yourself a bigger name. It's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst thing in my opinion. In my opinion, it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, and he also ducked Matias. He also ducked Matias. He ain't gonna fight Matias now. After Matias lost. So like, you gotta the work's there for you at 140, but you ain't doing it. You didn't do it before. And what? Zoop was gonna give him an easy fight. Zoop was gonna give him a gimme fight. And ain't gonna be something that's so on paper, so competitive. And he's gonna look boring again, most likely. And it's gonna be like, yep, call me out with all these other guys. And everybody's gonna stay silent. Why? Because you're gonna be blasé. And when those that are in your division call you out, if you duck them again like you ducked before, you're the same story over again. That's all it's gonna be. The same story over and over again. And it's going to be frustrating. But either way, we got to wrap this show up and send it home. It is 2 hours, 44 minutes. We got to go and end this show and get out of here. We appreciate all of you tuning in on the live. That was the last topic of discussion before we go in and go on home. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We appreciate everybody coming in on today. And we can't wait to see you all on Friday as we continue this week of the Welch Report with so much fun and fervor to be had. But with all of that being said, we got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you to everybody who showed up, showed out, tuned in, and supported on the stream today. It means the world to us. It means the world to all of you to interact with us. Keep, if you would, like the stream before you get out of here. It helps us to go and grow this channel. Please leave a like on the video. Comment your thoughts and opinions on what you liked or didn't like about the show. And please keep on going through and hit the notification bell and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this show grow bigger, better, and stronger, all for you and your listeners all around the globe. We thank you so much for tuning in. Trust me, we're going to be back on Friday talking about a whole bunch of stuff in the world of boxing with you all in mind. Trust me, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be insane. Let me see. Are you going to go live for the Iglesias fight? I'm not going to be able to. Honestly, this whole week, I can't go live because I got to leave and go handle some stuff out of town. So I'm not going to be able to do anything for any live streams this weekend or this week because I got personal stuff I got to handle. But we will be back next week still, covering everything else involved. And trust me, it's going to be a time. And we're going to have some fun with it nonetheless. And we will be discussing all of it. That's why we're going to try to turn Friday's show into a real hodgepodge of entertainment to make up for it. Because we're going to be rolling. I got stuff I got to handle. But we're going to still be talking about that fight as well when we do come back on this stream, and the Tyson Fury fight as well as the weeks and days go by. But even still, thank you for tuning in, thank you for listening. We got a whole bunch of stuff to still discuss. You read what I said about Anyway? I did not read that. Come back tomorrow afternoon and say what you said about Anyway, and we can discuss it on Friday. But we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. Like I said, if you can't support the channel, we got Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description. Super chats and super gifts are plenty. Please hype this live stream when it ends, so it helps to push us in the algorithm, helps us to push out further along. Use up all your hypes to go through when this stream ends on your mobile devices and go and elevate this channel even more. We would appreciate it so much. And hey, be on Friday discussing more about boxing and beyond, all with you on the day. And it's gonna be so exciting to watch. It's gonna be so incredible to see. But I've been John the Welch. Y'all have a wonderful peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. We can't wait to see you all on Friday afternoon. Have a wonderful afternoon and the rest of your day tonight. And wherever you are around the world, hopefully I made your day a little bit brighter. Hopefully I made your day a little bit more enjoyable. And hopefully I did right by you all and made this show as entertaining as possible. Oh, by the way, we gotta go through the top 5 chatters for this stream. I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to scroll through even quicker so we can see the top chatters for this stream. I think this week thing reset. So I think this is actually the right thing for today. Number 1, oh, crazy enough, number 1 was Burr. Wait a minute, Burr, you took the spot? You took the spot for Power by number 1? Wait a second. Anita Burr was number 1. Ryan Graves number 2. And again, I think I got this thing so that the week and the day resets the same way. So I believe this is also the same thing. Number 3 was Bud Crawford. Number 4 was I might need this thing to scroll through a little bit quicker. Truth. And who was number 5 for the top 5 chatters on today's stream and also collectively throughout this week right now? Johnny Blaze ain't crazy enough, but a chat his way to the top 5 for this week. We're going to see how it goes going forward. We can't wait to see you all here. But with all that being said, hey, I've been John Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. And we're going to see you all on Friday. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace and love. Salute to you. And we out of here. Yes, sir. Can't wait to see you all on tomorrow. And have a wonderful day for the rest of the day. Hey, love you. Appreciate you. Can't wait to see you later on.